57,3080.
So, Vampire the Masquerade, London, episode 57. And Luke will be joining us in a little while. Garth's character is off doing Nosferatu business, as they do. And I am having dumplings.
Having what? Yeah.
They're overcooked. No, I don't. I don't know. I don't eat dumplings. Okay, so what happened last time was we.
I like the old dumplings. Never mind.
What happened last time?
Didn't really have a train of thought anyway. It's fine.
you were busy tracking down Sonny the Yank, and you went to his apartment, and you met Mr. Kaplan, and you snuck around in the apartment and got attacked by some vicious hybrid Schlachter creature that has both obtenebration as well as being some kind of Tzimisce construct.
And we blew it up.
Well, to be fair, you probably should make occult rolls. You can make intelligence and occult checks because for reasons.
Okay.
I should probably log into Roll20. Haha.
Sorry, intelligence and occult?
Yep. If you have any of that intelligence business. That was me being not very funny.
Just the one.
It's all right.
What do we got? This is London. All right, here we go.
I thought we left that, all of that. And yeah, I thought we left.
You did. You left. You did all of that stuff. You left. You went back to the airbase because that was the main location that you had left. At that point, that's where you had your. That's where Bishop had a bit of a meltdown and went for a walk. And Barry and I know the reasons for this.
Yes.
And yeah, that's pretty much where we left it with shit going down at the end of that. You were going to do a debriefing, actually, was the last thing we were talking about. Parker was insisting that you do a debrief, and then, then there was a bad joke made about briefs, I think.
Yep. So just like, okay, well, after I did that bad joke, I'm sorry, everyone. We're pretty wounded. Well, I am. Obviously, Parker is. Alan's off the cards, and we can't hear you.
Who are you talking to?
I'm talking to everyone who's here.
Okay.
Which was Shipman, although he's gone.
Right. So Shipman's obviously been called out for some reason. Let's just say he got a phone call. Him and his sire disappeared off because they're obviously not wanted here. So they left. And Garth, what's his face? Jesus. Alexis, thank you. He has also gone to he's made his excuses and gone off to do some Nosferatu business. You might have heard him take a phone call from someone he refers to as Winston.
Well, so much for the brief.
It is very hard to have a brief without anybody to brief. Correct? Very hard.
Sure. Whatever you want.
I mean,
anyway.
The boss is not here. The boss is gone. He is gone down there. Yes.
What, Bishop?
Yes, he is gone. He is like.
Yes, he needed to cool off, and that's fine. He can do whatever he wants. He's a grown man, I think. So we will see.
Okay.
Just you and me then. Oh, and Parker.
You've got to get your hands seen too.
I just need, honestly, I need blood right now. I need blood.
That must hurt.
It does hurt, and it makes me angry just thinking about it. But it's just something I'm gonna have to work through. I need blood, and I can heal it tomorrow. Okay.
That is true.
All right.
That is true.
Thank you.
All right.
So what's the plan? You're gonna take a bit of a rest? Is that the overall plan?
I need to get some blood. And I don't really feel comfortable going to incognito right now. So I might find a different way.
A different
Similar,
source.
a similar, going to a club situation. And then I guess doing what I used to do before I had incognito.
Right. Do you have a sort of an outline of that, what that would be?
It might be like going to someone's place, the whole being a teenager thing. Okay, let's go and party somewhere else. Take a few others, whatever, and just make everyone all dopey. Singling them out.
Right. Well, you take it probably a couple of hours to do that, right? 2 or 3 hours to get that sorted. And
Yep.
when
I'm
you
leaving
eventually
Alan behind as well. So
leaving Alan behind as well, right? Well,
Yeah.
is he wounded?
Very much so.
Okay.
He's worse than me, if I remember correctly. So I'm 3 points down, and Alan is 4.
4. So Alan's not well at all. All right.
And he can't heal until tomorrow.
Okay. So you go and feed. You get as much blood as you need really in that period of time.
Good.
You can heal any superficial, non-aggravated damage, and probably gain some more blood as well. So by the time you come back, you've healed your superficial wounds, and you've got full blood.
Excellent.
Okay.
Still have the aggravated ones, so that sucks.
How much aggravated damage are you still carrying?
3.
Nice. Okay. So Bishop, where have you gone?
I'm walking along the Thames.
Okay.
Just walking along the Thames, minding my own business, and I've got weapons, so if anybody wants to pick on me now, it'd be an excellent time.
All right. Well, what you do notice, Bishop, as you were walking along the side of the Thames through the main part of the central city, I take it?
Yep.
Yeah. It is a little bit far from the airfield, so you would have had to get there somehow. How would you have gotten there? By bike?
Oh, that's easy. I would have taken my bike and gone on my bike for a while.
Okay. Well, I'm going to say that on the way there, you get stopped by a military checkpoint because the city is now in lockdown, and we have martial law imposed.
I show them my ID.
Yeah.
Evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, sir. You realize that you... I'm sorry, I'm an American. We're in London. Good evening, sir. You realize that you can't pass through this checkpoint unless you have the appropriate identification.
Well, this should do it.
And he has a look at it. Oh,
Yeah.
excuse me, sir. I will just take this to my commanding officer.
Of course.
A few minutes. He goes off.
Oh.
And they've got like a little booth on the side, and you can see there's like a photocopier or something flashing in there. Walk.
Yep.
And you see the guy through the glass window, or perspex glass on the side of this temporary building, on the telephone. Him talking. I don't know if you can make sensors or not. I should probably... I don't think you do, Bishop. Does Bishop?
No, I don't. I have presence, potence, and something else. I forget
And a
what that
weird
is.
camera.
Potence, celerity, presence.
Yeah, my camera's going nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going off again.
Oh, that would be because I've hit the wrong button.
That always explains it. All right, so he comes back out and allows you through. And when you get to the Thames, you notice that the central city is crawling with cops. Not just cops, but actual military personnel. There are armored vehicles placed on every block and street corner. There's road cones everywhere. There's tape hanging, across the street. You can see that there's a building that's been basically demolished, besides the one that you guys kind of demolished with the helicopter, because there was a plane flown into some buildings a few nights ago, or a night ago. Not literally flown into it, it just blew up in the sky and then landed in the central city. And from the news reports that you've probably managed to collect in the last few hours also, you've learnt that so far the casualties are somewhere in 300 to 400 people, with another 100 odd people missing. there's a lot of people have been taken to trauma wards, lots of interviews on TV talking about this stuff, and even the TV stations. Roundabouts midnight on this evening, which would be a couple of hours previous to now, BBC has stopped broadcasting anything about London. Not long after that, various other news channels are literally shut down.
Wow.
So you get to the Thames and you're walking along the edge of the Thames. You get checkpointed a couple of times, and you notice that there are, in fact, a couple of figures following you, and you realize that they are special agents, probably working with or for MI5 or 6, just making sure that their people are safe.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. Okay, so do you do anything particular? You're just walking to cool off, per se?
Just walking to cool off and basically tapping my phone to Tatiana.
Okay. What do you say?
I say basically on text, how's it going? My people are down for a while. I'm still around. I'm standing at, whatever place I'm standing. And
all right.
Just let her know where I am and what's going.
All right. Well, she says now that she's got your location, a few minutes later, she pulls up on a motorcycle. Roundabouts where you are. That obviously they checkpoint her as well, and she speaks to them. You might not notice. I don't know whether you would notice or not. We can make a perception check to see if you notice this. Actually, bishop. I should just leave your character sheet open because that would help. You can make a perception alertness check, and it is a what do we get here? 2 successes. Okay, so you notice that she doesn't actually pull out an ID or anything. She just talks to them and they let her through. But she does raise her visor. A few moments later, she cruises up next to you. She goes, well, here we are.
Here we are fucking again. The whole world's blowing up around us.
Yeah, well, that's true. But the question is, what are we going to do about it?
You're the boss. What are we going to do about it?
Where are your people right now? Where's the rest of
Healing up. They're at the airport.
Airport?
Yes. I have a smaller base at an airport.
You've got an airport?
Yep.
Okay. How come I didn't
Still needs work, but it's there.
Okay, well, we probably should get the team together and have a chat. Don't you think?
Yeah. Yep. I'll
There's a lot of information that's coming out of all of this, and I want to know what it is, and I want you guys to talk to me. So
okay.
where are we having this meeting? At your fucking airport, then?
Might as well.
All right, show me the way.
Okay.
Bike again.
That's it up. Follow me.
All right, so you're on your bike. She's on her bike. You go through a couple of checkpoints once again. Breeze.
Yep.
And you end up getting back to the air base, and you come in through the front gates.
Yep.
Guards recognize you, so they don't stop you. They probably do stop you because she's there. They just want to check that it is you. And
put my visor up.
Yeah, and they want to, and the guard is like, and I assume this is someone with you then.
Yep.
All right, so it goes on through, and you get into the main building, the main hangar, and by this point, Sage, you're probably still out hunting, but you probably, let's say you come back around sometime, anytime now, anytime you want to come back, basically.
I want to swing by the wreckage of Bishop's old place as well.
You want to swing past there?
Hmm.
Okay.
I'll be. How will I've gotten there? I would have probably just taken a vehicle.
Okay.
As I do.
As you,
Yeah.
right. What vehicle are you driving?
One of Bishop's.
One of Bishop's. About an armored car.
Sure.
All right. So you pull up an armored car over there. Very good. Well, the place is still smoking. There's still fire trucks putting out fires.
Well, I'd like to walk around and just see if I can spot Corey. Maybe she survived. Maybe she wasn't in the building.
Maybe. Roll me a d10.
I hate this. It's okay. That one is always rolled shitty. Okay. A 3?
You don't find her anywhere.
Okay, I'm gonna go up to one of the people putting it out.
Right, as you approach them, also there is a police presence there. It's not a strong police presence because the whole area is under guard now, but a police individual comes over to you, an inspector. Excuse me, madam, you can't come here. This is under protection right now. What are you doing out? This is under curfew.
I'm actually on duty, and I will show him
Badge.
my pass. Yeah.
Right. Okay. He looks at it and makes a call. Says, "Excuse me, sorry," and you go through the rigmarole. It takes a couple of minutes, and then they let you through.
Thank you.
Finally, you're able to approach a fireman. All right.
Have you seen a little cat around?
No, ma'am. Sorry, I haven't seen any cats here. No. I mean, hang on a minute. Let's just put a call out. Who are you anyway?
I am. Enter name here. I'm not sure yet.
Okay. But you will be.
This is my badge.
For your badge, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Right. So you show your name badge, and they kind of shake their head. All right. I'll just put a call out and see if anybody knows anything. Gets over the radio. Have we got anybody on beta team here who knows anything about a cat in this vicinity? I've got a lady here from MI5 looking for a cat. And
top secret business. Except everyone knows now.
I'm sure it is top secret. What has that cat got in it? Some sort of magical implant or something? Some
top secret.
On shit.
It's top secret.
I bet it is top secret. You wouldn't be abusing your privileges at all.
Of course not.
Of course not. All right, we've got one of my officers here, Jimmy, over in the far corner over by the Thames in what we call the burn, the burn area. He's reckons he's seen something like a cat over there.
Alive or dead?
Well, let's go and talk to him, shall we?
All right.
So he takes you through the entranceway into the wreckage of the building. And you can see a bunch of armored vehicles blown to hell. You see the glass cage blown to hell. All of the interior is smashed and burned out. All the glass is gone. Everything has been destroyed thoroughly. Because, of course, Bishop had this place designed to do this, and it is done thoroughly. And he's talking about, well, we see thermite explosions here. You see the way those rafters have come down. They've been cut off exactly like they do when they're. It's like this is a planned controlled demolition. To be honest with you, we don't see any sort of terrorist activity here at all. This looks much more like a controlled demolition. In fact, if you ask me, they did this on purpose. So we're kind of worried that this is some kind of terrorist base or something like that. Like this might be where the perpetrators of this whole thing is operating from. I expect within a few days, maybe even a few hours, this place is going to be crawling with people like you. Is that why you're here?
Yes, that's exactly right. I'm just having a preliminary exploration, I suppose.
Right, I imagine you're
Just,
pretty busy with that helicopter and that plane and that building and all the other shit going on around here
yes,
right now.
yes, exactly.
Right,
People are
well,
everywhere. That's why I'm on my own.
yeah, well, look, let me just tell you, with a fire situation like this, it's very important for you to get your evidence as quickly as possible, you might want to
Exactly.
get your team down here sooner than later before the wind blows half your evidence out of here. And we're going to get looters through here. We've already had to chase a couple of people off, came in here on boats. Can you believe that? They had boats on the Thames. They just rocked up here. And I had like 15 of them. We had to get rid of them. We had to get the cops in there and chase them off.
I
So
see. What were these people like? Did they have weapons on them?
oh, I don't know. I don't think so. They didn't seem to be armed. They looked more like a bunch of teenagers on a fucking cruise. But I don't know.
Right, right.
Seemed to think it was fun to come up in here and have a bit of a party or something. But I don't know. You can see some bottles over there, broken. You know.
Right, okay. Yes, I'll definitely get my teams on that.
Right.
But for the meantime, I'm still looking for that cat.
Still looking for that cat.
Hmm.
Right. Eventually, you get around to where Jimmy is, and he says, "I did see a cat running around up on the rafters over there a couple of hours back. Looked like a bit of a stray. I couldn't tell if it had a collar or nothing, but it seemed to be a bit burned and singed. I don't know if it how it's doing, but it's gone now.
Okay, thank you. I will keep an eye out,
Right.
and I'll be wandering around until I find the
We
cat.
found a whole weapons case over here. This
Oh,
place
really?
is. Oh yeah, there's some of the weapons in this place. I mean, they're registered, a lot of them, but there's some stuff in here that we looked at that apparently is not even registered. I mean, this place, and I know that not because I'm a fireman, but because I know what weapons are illegal in the country. You can't have fucking rocket launchers. That's ridiculous. So you
Yes.
really need to get onto this. So clearly, these people are up to something.
Right, right. Yeah, definitely.
All this glass.
I'm just here. I'm just here. I'm like the first inspector. There'll be more later.
Right, right. Well, I'll show you all the hot points here. We've got something here that looks like it might have been used for containment of something, and maybe they're making biological weapons in there or something. We found some strange kind of biological matter. Um, we're still waiting for the biohazard team to turn up and actually examine that. But everybody's so stretched right now. It's down on me. I'm a fireman, for God's sake. It's lucky they didn't end up calling a volunteer. I mean, I actually work for the fire service, which is good. So at least I know what I'm doing. But half these volunteers, they don't know what's going on. I've been
Yes.
with the service for about 15 years now. He's chatting away.
Still, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to find that cat. I would say do your job. Put out the fires. There'll be someone shortly, and there's a lot of fire that needs to be attended to. So you'll have to
Right.
go into that.
We're just about there. Just about got it all under control. I mean,
Okay,
we've
good.
managed to stop it spreading to the next 3 buildings. That's a good start. But it's burning very hot. I've put it down to the thermite. Anyway, I'll leave you to it.
Thank you.
You obviously.
I wander off. He keeps talking.
He gets back on his radio and starts chatting on his radio at that point. Okay, so you're looking around. Do you want to make a?
Yeah, blood bonded. Should come to me.
Wits and investigation, please.
Okay, let's investigation. 3. Wow. Okay.
3 successes. All right.
I'll take that.
You eventually find Corey on the edge of the whole scenario, right out on the edge of the block, hiding under some rubble in like a hole there, quite burned, not very happy, limping, face is a bit mangled from explosion.
Corey, come here. I'll look around and see if the coast is clear, and if it is, I'm going to pour some blood onto my hand and then offer it to her.
Corey gingerly comes out from
Into my good hand.
Speaking of hands, how are you just
Don't worry, I actually did use a glove. It's fine.
So
It's
in the end,
fine. Yeah. I was
in-
just saying no because Bishop was
everyone's
all onto me about it. Yeah.
right. Okay.
I'm a teenager at heart, and I probably will be a teenager until I disappear in a fire somewhere. So
Right.
yeah.
All right. So Corey comes gingerly out from underneath the rubble and licks the blood, and she begins to heal.
Good.
And eventually, you pick her up and can carry her out of here if you want.
I will pick her up. I'm so glad to see you.
And yes, she's very affectionate and so on, and very glad to get out of here. Although I will make you make a charisma and animal kin check.
Well, I'm coasting on my charisma here, that's for sure. Charisma and
What is her charisma anyway?
4. So it's just one success, but 4 is my charisma.
Okay, so we'll put that at 2 successes. Okay, that is successful, and you get her back to the armored vehicle, and off you go, I assume.
Yep, and I'll put her in the little second passenger seat. Be gentle.
As you
No more explosions. Let me get back to the place, okay? Corey's been through enough.
As you get back to the vehicle,
yeah,
you see a couple of suit-wearing individuals walking in your direction from an unmarked car on the side of the road, just outside. And one of them puts up a hand and says, "Stop, please, officer."
I will, and I will use my oar from.
All right, so you use oar.
Yeah.
Oar, please.
Because my performance 7. 6.
Bloody freaking!
Okay. Eat it.
They change the way they're walking, and they change their gait. They suddenly are very hard trying to impress you. And one of them says, "Aren't you that pop artist, Sage somebody?"
Oh no, I get mistaken for her a lot, but we're not the same person. I'm sorry.
Very similar.
I'm actually. I'll show the badge.
You show the badge.
Yeah.
And one of them takes out a badge and shows you a MI6 badge.
MI6.
And
MI5 must be better than MI6, right?
no.
Oh, oh well. Something you learn something every day.
It's probably important to know these things when you are faking being an MI5 officer.
Right. I was only joking.
She says to you, so something very interesting. Just curious. We were just wondering. I mean, forgive us for poking our noses in and what have you, but we did notice that you arrived here in an armored vehicle that has Barry, what's the name of your company again? It's Sentinel Security, isn't it?
Sentinel Security.
Right, and the armored car has Sentinel Security plastered on the side of it, and the front gates of this building have Sentinel Security plastered on the side of it, as do all the vehicles that have been blown up inside Sentinel Security. So my question really is, how did you gain access to the Sentinel Security van? You wouldn't be working for Sentinel Security, would you? Were you undercover there?
Not undercover. We're working in a different branch. Oh, sorry. I'm working in a different branch. Not connected to this one at all. But I've come here because a friend of mine lost their cat here, and I've found her.
I see. Right. Well, that's very interesting. Well, I guess if you could just fill in some forms for us, it would be just great. And she says, if you don't mind opening up the armored vehicle so we can sit down.
I actually do mind. I'm sorry.
Well, you're going to have to fill these forms out. I'm very sorry.
I don't mind doing that on the top of the vehicle. All right, I'll
All right.
start filling out these
Can
forms.
you make a wits and
Mystery forms.
subterfuge check for me?
Okay. It's subterfuge. Where are you, subterfuge? Just the one.
Okay. All right. So, what exactly is this is for a friend? Do you have the name of that friend? Can you? I think we're going to need a few more details here in this box. Unfortunately, they're very thorough up at head office. You know, they like to know what's really going on, and I need to collect some more information, or they'll probably complain, and I'll have to find you again.
Oh, you can just refer to my boss at MI5. His name is the guy that we came across that was the childer or retainer of Solte, probably childer. And
his name for you.
Now I believe that we're okay to mention him, right? Because he is in my 5.
Yeah, sure. He's got an official
position. Or he would have given us a name that we could have given in this circumstance, right? If he's a vampire, surely he has a ghoul that he can, dispose of if needed, if need be.
Was it Hans Berkova?
Yeah, that's one.
All right. Yep. All right. So
if you have any questions,
right, we'll put this through to them. Yeah, it does seem a little bit irregular picking up a cat from a zone like this right now. I'm sure you've got better things to do, MI5. Surely you've got better things to do.
It was a favor for a friend. I think you understand.
Oh yeah, I understand. All right. It's yeah. Right. Well, we'll just tick that up to abuse of our powers. But very nice to meet you. And I
nice to meet you too.
You do look a lot like Sage Blackwood.
So I get told. Wait, how do you know about Sage? I don't get how this.
Or Sage, just
yeah. Okay, sweet.
Just another excellent choice from MI5. He says as he walks off. There they go with their form.
And off I go.
Now, did you give them any contact details on that form? You were requested to and required to. Were the ones that you put on there real and in fact valid, or they made up ones?
I'm sure the Hans Berkova one was real. The others probably not so much.
All right. Very well. I'll also get you to make a perception check, please. Wits and perception this time.
Nope. I refuse to roll.
Sorry.
Like that.
Perception. Make it perception alertness. Might as well do perception alertness.
4.
Wits and perception. I meant alertness. 4. 4, you say?
Yes.
Okay. Well then, Jesus. While you're talking to these to the woman, the man also you noticed walked around kind of the side of the car, the side of the vehicle, and he's looking around at the vehicle while you were talking and filling in the form and what have you. You notice out of the corner of your eye, he sort of bends down to look at it, and then you finish your conversation and then they go. So you're alone with your vehicle now and your cat.
I'm going to go back to where they were before. And I'm going to inspect around to see if it's trapped or not with the cat.
Okay. All right. So would you like to make a perception and investigation check, please?
Sure.
Sure.
5. Yay!
5. There is a tracking device that's been put on the side of the vehicle, just underneath the rim at the bottom. It's quite a good one too. You're surprised. Better than the MI5 ones.
Wow. Put it on the ground, and I put my foot on it.
All right. You smash it.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
And then I'm going to drive. Yeah.
All right. So you
Going back
head on out.
to Bishop's. Mhm.
Back to Bishop's. All right. You go back to Bishop's place, or back to the airbase.
That's one, yeah.
Yep. Okay. Very good. Everybody else is still there, milling around and so forth. Bishop, you're back there by now. Yeah. Tatiana is there as well. You see her bike parked out the back, or rather out the front. It has the number plate Vampy on it.
Sure, there's something a bit more sexy that she could have gone with.
Yeah. Well, if you want to think of a number plate, I'll take it. Or you could always
Mistress, Mistress T, or I don't know.
the thing is she's got a little bit of a that slightly unsophisticated kind of, not humor but style.
Yeah.
She's not that it's unsophisticated, it just lacks subtlety. You know, she lacks subtlety overall. That's her overall flaw as a character. So yeah, Vampy, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, in pink.
Oh.
Okay, so anyhow, you go in through the entranceway into the airbase. Vehicles are parked up on a small patch of runway that has been exposed for this purpose. There are big nets hanging over the outside with camouflage on them, keeping most of this place pretty invisible from the air, at least. Bishop, you're back here now, yeah?
Yep, I'm back.
All right, well, at the first thing you probably do when Tatiana gets there is she wants to get a tour. So I'm going to assume that you give her the special tour.
Yeah.
It doesn't include things like underground server rooms and secret passages and secret rooms and shit like that. Keep it to the sort of more obvious places that anybody could figure out if they used their brain.
Yep.
Okay. I'm taking that
Yep.
as... Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
And so you come back to the main hangar with Tatiana. Alan is there as well as Parker. Raya is here as well. Any other NPCs that should be here that I haven't thought of?
Well, Francesco's are probably around here, but
Francesco, yeah.
I did tell him to come here.
Yep, fair enough.
But he might be doing something a bit more mundane.
Yeah, Francesco probably is doing something fairly mundane. Not sure what that is. He might be cooking for the rest of the retainers.
Italian food.
Right.
Awesome. They'll love that.
There is probably the ground floor above ground section is probably where the retainers live and work from. That would make sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Very well. Currently, the control tower is inoperable, but you could use it for storage or something like that, or you could even use it as a war room type scenario or something like that. But it is very exposed. You know, someone would only have to fire a rocket at it, and you could take out everybody in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Parker says to you, by the way, sir, when you have a minute, I want to talk to you.
All right, Parker. Okay.
I've realizing that our primary base of operations at Sentinel has been compromised entirely. I've redirected some armaments here.
All right. Good.
We had some trucks with some particular weapons in storage, kept in a warehouse out in the outlands, if you like. And
Yeah.
I'm having them shipped here, if that's all good with you. So I'm not really capable of doing much work right now besides communications. Maybe some logistics, but beyond that, you might have to get someone else to do the actual shifting around of the things.
All right.
Also,
all right.
Bishop, are you okay?
Yes.
Sorry about what I said before. I was out of line, sir.
I know sometimes I need a little shake up. Sometimes it gets a little too much even for me, Parker.
You
And if there's anybody who knows how to shake me up and put me back to my own brain, it's you.
you had a look on your face, Bishop, that just say reminded me of Smith.
I don't know how to tell you this, but part of him's kind of still with me.
Me too, sir. Although I'm not sure that I would want Smith with me so much, but
Well,
he's in my
you
heart.
know,
Whatever good part of him existed, if there was ever such a thing, I hope he's found some peace.
when I'm under a bit of stress, sometimes I don't know how to put this to you because it sounds Malkavian, but sometimes he almost feels like he's there.
Is it just me, or is there a ghost standing behind you, Barry? In your video feed, look at your video right now. As you move around, there's this sheet that appears right behind you.
When I first got here, that's what
It's the back of my
was there.
chair.
Right.
Yeah.
Freaky. Okay. Well, anyway, I hope you're feeling better. Make sure that you've, fed up and all that stuff.
Have we got? So you say we've got some stuff, so we can still operate.
Look, I'm planning to install some anti-aircraft missiles on the roof of the control tower.
That's a good idea.
I want to
That's a
cover this.
good idea.
I want to make sure that we are covered from the air. These fuckers have been attacking using jetliners and helicopters, right?
Yep. Yep.
A lot of damage has been done from air attacks, and what I've noticed so far is both of these air attacks have been from vehicles that were either hijacked or stolen, I suspect. I'm not so sure about the helicopter, but the plane was definitely a commercial airliner. You need to look into where the helicopter came from. I think there could be a chain of connections that could be made with a bit of investigation. It might lead you somewhere.
Okay.
We need to stop being defensive, and we need to find the source of this shit. Right now, as I see it, Bishop, this is like when we were in, that time in Venezuela when we were backed up into that hole.
Yep.
There was nothing we could do, and we couldn't get out of there until we changed our position. We had to go on the offense, and it took some risks, of course, but otherwise it was certain death. We can't just wait for them to keep coming at us, wave after wave after wave. We have to stop it at its source. This thing's like a fucking Medusa or a Hydra. Charlie, your character comes in at this point too. Tatiana's wandering around outside talking to some retainers right now.
Hello, everyone.
Wow. I've been waiting for you.
I'm sorry. Look, I've got my cat back.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Got Corey. You know about Corey?
Well, I do now. I got a call from MI6.
Oh.
They're trying to find out what you're doing there in a Sentinel van.
Yeah, I sort of played it off. Just saying that there's a different branch that's not connected to each other or something.
I don't think they're buying it, but that's okay.
No, they tried to what was it? There's the little chips. They put that on the locator chip thing.
They're tracking you.
They tried to. I found it. I crushed it.
Well, you better hope they only used one.
I could only find one.
Well, good luck with that. Probably. We'll see. But in any case, we're going to have to do some damage control, because right now they think that you're part of this whole thing somehow. And they're pointing their fingers at MI5, and they're starting to suspect that MI5 has got some kind of internal breach. Hands is under fire from MI6 now, and they're going to take it to Parliament.
Okay, what can I what can we do?
Well, there's not an awful lot you can do except maybe apologize to Hans and or the other members of the Primogen, perhaps.
I don't know what I could really say here.
Well,
I'll let him know that I did that. I don't know, just picking up a cat.
yeah. Well, I don't know whether that's probably top priority right now.
Okay, I'll go make a phone call to him.
All right. Well, good luck with that. What else is going on? Well, yeah, when you come back from your phone call, in fact, fuck the phone call. Do that later. I'm here now. Why don't we talk about what's going on? What do you know? What do you guys actually fucking know right now?
We know Sunny has been taken.
Okay.
Oh, he's in trouble.
You know where he is.
I'm sorry. Could you repeat that?
Do you know where Sonny is?
No.
He's been taken. That's all you know.
Oh, he said that the excuse he made up was that he was going to Tunisia or something, or to I can't remember. But what was it?
Trinidad.
Trinidad, right?
Trinidad.
Oh, thank you, Bishop. But that sounds like absolute rubbish. Then again, you can't really discount this. It just sounded like a code.
Right. Could have been in some sort of code. Yeah. Hard to tell.
They have Schlachta that are mixtures of Zimitzi and La Sombra obtenebration.
Right.
So vicissitude and obtenebration.
That's kind of scary. Did you guys get any kind of footage of any of this? Any information? Have you pulled down any data from this? Did you collect any evidence? What do you got? You
No, we haven't got the sophisticated helmet cams.
We were in deep trouble. We were in deep trouble at that point. We kind of had to get going.
Okay. All right.
We were getting attacked by helicopters and everything. It was just not a safe place to remain.
Right. Well, okay. So I'll send in a team. Well, I'm pretty sure there's already a team in there. Let's just say I'm going to second that team and pull out whatever evidence we can find. But the thing is, they're probably not looking for the right stuff right now. They don't know what to look for, and they don't know about kindred, so they're not going to be thinking about things in the right light. What I need you to do is think about how we can pull some leads. What kind of ways what can we use at our resources to pull some leads out of this whole situation?
Leads.
Leads, like who are these people who attacked us?
Okay, well, we assume it's the Society of Leopold.
Okay.
So there's that.
That's a start, but we don't know where they're from.
We have Julius Vane. You have him.
Yeah.
So he might be a source for new information.
Okay, yeah. Well, I'm working on that.
Okay. I mean, we gave the blood to. Oh wait, no, we got a lot of information from John Dee already.
And we've got a suspicion, not an actual fact, but a suspicion that the Sabbat might be using the Society of Leopold without Leopold actually knowing it.
Right. Well, I think that's a good working theory, and we should probably use that as our base assumption because it seems like a good theory. Do we have any other theories, just in case that's not true, or there's something else going on? Do you have any ideas about how we can find them? It's all very well for us to say the Society of Leopold, the Sabbat, but who are we talking about? Which individuals are we talking about, and how do we find them?
Yeah.
That's why I kind of think Julius is probably our source at the moment. If we can get him up and running, we can torture him.
All right, look, you guys came across enemies along the way? Who did you fight? Who did you kill? Who was there? Who have you actually come across? Besides the creature that you fought inside the building, okay? Why don't you take me through that step by step?
Okay.
It was like it had like many tentacles.
Okay, so were they obtenebration tentacles or were they physical?
Were they physical? Okay.
Obtenebration.
There was like a dark shadow, but I don't know if it was shadowy tentacles.
Okay, so your memory, in retrospect, you realize it had a bit of both, and that it had physical tentacles as well as obtenebration. They were
Okay,
working together,
right. So both.
which made it difficult to kind of visualize what was happening because so much of it was shadow and such.
Hmm.
Okay, now what about ghouls? Were there any ghouls?
Were there any ghouls? I mean, we did have the one that unfortunately met his. Well, from what I've been told, he met his demise at Bishop's complex.
Oh yeah?
But yeah, he's
Got
no
a
longer
corpse?
around.
Do you have a corpse?
They might have found one back at the complex, but
Okay, did you get fingerprints? Did you get IDs? Did you search the bodies? Did you pull any evidence off these people? Do they have a home address? Do they have a work address? Do they have a visa? Where do these people come from? Where do they live? Who do they work for? What do we know about them? Did you check their bank accounts? Have you looked in to see whether they've got social security numbers? You guys are doing fucking nothing, okay? You guys need to get your shit together and you need to start thinking like fucking cops. You got MI5 badges now. Do your goddamn job. Do some research. Think about this. She's like, I don't know if I
last
can.
time I checked, I was a singer.
She walks off in a huff. She turns around.
Like,
That's right. You are a fucking singer. Maybe you should go back to singing. And she walks out.
nobody will allow me.
Well, she told us, didn't she? Says Alan.
Oh, hello, Alan. Sorry about that. Look, it's Corey. I'll put Corey on Alan's lap.
Glad you found Corey. That's
Me
good.
too.
There's one little sign of hope in all this gloom. You know, there's
All right.
347 people so far they've found dead. There's another 200 in hospital.
I'll just rub Alan's back with my good hand.
Oh, thanks. So, what are we going to do?
Bishop will go after Tats.
All right, so you follow her outside. Okay, she's just getting on her bike and she's about to start it up. She looks over at you and lifts up her visor. You got something meaningful to add to this?
Meaningful? You've had a hard week too, huh?
She pulls off her helmet. Don't get me started.
So what you're really saying is they're kicking your ass for what we're not doing.
Do not presume anything about me, Bishop.
I don't presume any bloody thing about you, Tatiana. So don't start thinking I presume. The thing is, my resources are down to nothing. I have a private detective team.
Well, what are you doing with it? Nothing.
They need to be official.
Well, you can do that, surely.
How, Tatiana? How?
Well, you have an MI5 badge. So if they have a problem, they refer them to you. And if you have a problem, you refer them to Hans.
All right. All right. So that's officially from you?
That is officially from me.
All right. All right. I'll get right on it.
But, Bishop, you don't want people
Yes.
just knowing about MI5 operations, okay? You can't just go around using that as an excuse whenever you want. You can pull that shit maybe once a month, once a year, okay? Not all the time. Don't use it on every single person who you come across pulling out MI5 badges. Nobody will believe that shit.
Then what am I supposed to do to them?
Well, you're supposed to use your ingenuity. You're supposed to find other ways to get them into places if you have to. MI5 don't go walking. If they want to know something about a corporation, they don't go up to the front door and say, hey, we're MI5. We would like to see your documents, please. They send somebody in there to work for the place for 3 months, and they get them to steal that shit. Because if they tell them that they're from MI5, the first thing they're going to do is hide everything.
How long have you been doing this, Tat?
Well, I was working for the KGB in the 1950s,
Yes.
so you can work it out. And out
And
again,
how much resources have you got?
personally,
Yeah.
I don't know if that's any of your business.
A lot more than I have. I've lost my business. I've lost everything that I had.
You've got
And
insurance, right?
sure, I've got insurance, but that's not coming out tomorrow.
What do you need?
You've already helped me a lot already.
What do you need?
I'll start getting my people moving on it. But frankly,
you still got mercs working for you right now?
yeah, still got mercs.
Right. You still
But
got
frankly,
people?
some of my people think this is a game, and if I push them too hard, I'll lose them.
Who are we talking about?
I'm sure you already know.
Okay. Well, maybe they won't think of it such a game when they're put before the prince and they have to explain why they're not doing what they've been asked to do. You know, look, she takes a couple of steps in your direction and she says, new vampires, that's the problem here. They still think that they've got superpowers and that's an excuse to spend their lives partying. Pretty soon they're going to realize that they're now working for a bunch of elders who are going to strip their blood and put them in the ground if they don't do exactly the little puppet dance that they're expected to do. Do you think I'm not being pulled around? Do you think I don't have strings? Everybody has strings.
You and I
Everybody
both know
has to do
that.
what they're asked to do.
You and I both know that this shit goes on, but you know, I can't push them too much, and you know that as well as I do. I push them too much, I haven't got them anymore.
Well,
and I need them.
Maybe you need new friends. I want an assessment from you by the end of the week to tell me whether or not the rest of your coterie are actually going to do their jobs. And if they're not, well, maybe we need to think about that.
Good point. Okay.
7 days.
Have it.
7 days.
Okay. I'll come up with something in 7 days.
I want to know whether you want this team or not. I can see that you're working hard, okay? You have lost a lot. You did lose your base. But I'm not convinced that that's the only resources you have, Bishop. You're not a fool. You don't put all of your eggs in one basket.
No, I haven't.
So
I haven't put them all in one basket.
good.
I just wanted to know. I just wanted to know what you were feeling, thinking. Now I know where to go from.
Let's look at this whole situation as a little training exercise and also as a kind of assessment opportunity. And I'll tell you
what you do, and I'll go and do what I do.
The last thing I'm going to say, whatever shit you think I'm pulling on you guys, imagine it if it was coming from Ivanovich. If I fuck around with you, if I give you guys 1 inch, he will have me in the sunroom.
And me, I imagine.
Oh, I'll just be the first on the list. That's true. I imagine there is a long queue for the sunroom.
All right. I'll get to work.
She starts the bike and she cruises out. Okay. Meanwhile, inside. Meow. Meow.
Alan, I have an idea.
Yeah?
Could you look after Corey?
Yeah, of course I can.
Thank you. That's not the idea. It's not the idea. But
Seemed like a good idea to me.
as long as you're safe. And Corey, both of you need to remain safe.
All right.
I am going to take a bit of a trip. I will be back. And I'm going to try and get the keys to Bishop's motorcycle. And I'm gonna try and sneak out of there.
You're gonna try and sneak past Bishop, who's in the front. Where his bike is. That's going to take a bit of ingenuity, all right?
Yeah.
Well, you need to make a dex and stealth check. I think the difficulty is going to be like 9, and you might need 3 successes because Bishop's right there.
No. -3.
Oh dear. -3. Okay, Bishop, you see Sage come out of the building. She looks extremely suspicious, and she's walking over towards your motorcycle.
Evening, young lady.
Oh, you got me. Oh no. Okay.
Where do we think we're going this evening?
Could I borrow your bike, please?
Could you borrow my bike?
Yeah, I have an idea, but I mean, unless I can get a bit more information, I don't know if it's going to work, but I'm going to try. That's okay. Can I have your keys? I'll return them.
I'm going to regret this someday.
No. No.
He looks straight into your eyes and says,
Please.
I'd better not regret this. Here's the keys.
Thank you.
Go do it and don't get in trouble.
Well, no promises there. And I start up the bike and I go. I'm going to go to see Victor.
Victor Faust.
Victor Faust.
All right. So
I'm going to go to his little tea shop /
bookshop.
Book area.
Yeah. All right. Well, as usual during this period, you will get stopped a couple of times to get there, but that's fine. And you show your ID, and you get through. You get to where his building is. It's a bit dilapidated. You park up out the front. Currently, there's not a lot of cars parked outside because everybody's on curfew.
Yeah.
And
Go on, Victor.
All right, you get to the front door. It's quite late at this point too, by the way. It's probably 3 a.m. Yeah.
Wow, I love pushing time.
Yeah. And you see that the shop is closed. The sign says, open between 7 p.m. and 2 a.m. actually.
I like that. I like it when stores are quirky like that. That's
Right.
cool.
Closed all other hours. Do not disturb. Dun, 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 dun. You realize there's a little bell there next to the door.
Oh, okay.
The outside of the place looks like somebody's basically taken the TARDIS and unfolded it.
Okay, cool. Nice.
And a couple of minutes later, this man opens the door. It's not Victor. He's wearing a white suit. He looks like a corpse that's standing up somehow and is dancing on strings.
I'll be back in a minute.
Madam, can I help you?
I'm looking for Mr. Faust.
Mr. Faust, unavailable, I'm afraid. Did you see the sign? Closed.
It's important. Tell him it's Sage. Please.
Sage. Very well.
Sage.
Do you have a card or something I can pass him?
I don't think so.
Prefer meeting during business hours, you understand?
Yep. I don't know if you've seen what it's like outside, but
Yes, you probably shouldn't be here, I would imagine.
no, it's more like chaos is everywhere, and I'm allowed outside because I've got work to do. So
Show him your card.
yeah. Well, I'll show him the badge.
The badge.
I don't think I have a card.
So you have an
Do I have cards?
identification. I imagine
Okay.
you have like an MI5, a plastic MI5 card that's got your photograph on it, and it says MI5 agent, blah blah blah, with very little other details on it.
Okay.
Maybe
Well, if that works.
he looks at that. He says, "That's very interesting. Perhaps you would be interested in my collector's card." And he takes out a card from inside his jacket. I made this one myself back in 1964. And you see the embossing is very well proven here. He shows it to you. Anyone could make a card like that, madam. Anyone. I'm not inclined
No.
up.
Please.
Do you have Victor's phone number?
Do I have his? I'm sure I do. Unless does he have a phone?
Who?
Victor. Yeah.
He does. But he gave you probably have a phone number for him.
Yeah. Do you want me to call him?
Yes, that would verify your connection to him for us.
Okay.
You call the number.
I mean, are you actually Victor?
You hear the phone ringing immediately, and it's coming from his pocket.
I knew it. I knew you were Victor.
Looks at it, he goes, "Yes, very well."
I punch him in the arm, like gently.
Excuse me, madam.
Sorry.
I will go and find. I'll go and find Mr. Faust.
You are Mr. Faust.
Madam, I am Mr. Faust's retainer.
Nonsense.
Closes the door.
I've never seen him have a retainer before. That is such nonsense.
Here's some mumbling and some going upstairs from inside. And a couple of minutes later, the door opens and Victor is there, and this guy's standing behind him.
You're very crafty.
Well, say Blackwood, how might I help you at this ungodly hour of the evening during lockdown and so forth? I understand you work for MI5 now. I just found that out. How interesting.
I'm an enforcer.
An enforcer as well?
Yes. This just gives me special privileges in amongst the mortal realm.
Are you coming in, or are you going to stand on the street?
Do you mind if I come in?
Of course, please.
Okay, thank you.
And you go into the bookshop, and there's a couple of sofas there and coffee table, and there's just bookshelves. It's very small and cramped, but he says, no, not there. And he goes to the back of the bookstore and he pulls aside this bookshelf. I know it's a little cliche, but
no, I like this.
He takes a key out from his pocket and unlocks the door and swings it open. I do like secret corridors.
Me too.
It's one of the main reasons I bought this place. Now do come inside, and he ushers you in.
I will go in.
Closes the door. Now, you'll stay there, sir. Wilfred, will you? Keep an eye out. Yes, my lord, I shall do that. Goes back in. So you guys go down the corridor, and out the back there is a bigger room. It looks a little bit more bare, but a little bit more scholarly. And on the walls there are all sorts of occult stuff, symbols, paintings, art, but also charts, diagrams, and so forth. There's a pile of scrolls in one corner. You see some various artifacts. You notice there's the floor looks like it's had chalk on it recently, and the chalk has been smudged out, and you can see the faint outline of a circle. You can make a wits and occult check, please.
Nope.
No. Is that
too hard to tell? Yeah.
So yeah, it's too faded, and probably not paying enough attention to it right now, and Victor's very presence. Now, you've come all the way here. I'm sure there's something I can do for you.
Remember how you said that you wanted to work together to make this hyper sigil thing?
Oh yes, I did mention something like that. He picks up this ceremonial dagger and he spins it on the end of his finger.
Okay, I like that. That's really cool.
So, yes.
um, that's very distracting, though.
Oh,
I'm sorry. Well, we're trying to track down the Society of Leopold. Now, I'm thinking that this might be a way that we can find them potentially.
the Society of Leopold. You playing
Yes.
a dangerous game?
Well, I like a risky game.
Do. So I've heard.
But I was thinking maybe we can create this hyper sigil to find these people.
You want to make a hyper sigil to find the Society of Leopold. How would it work?
Well, music gets anywhere and everywhere.
Hmm.
Travels distances. Um, I don't know the logistics of how this could work, but
Radio is quite good these days.
mm,
And there's a thing called television.
exactly. We make a song, I perform it on stage, on TV, potentially my music, this hypersigil gets out there. We start finding locations somehow.
What do you think this thing will do? How do you see it working? Like
Well,
a chain of logical, magical implications that will connect together.
okay, well, the Society of Leopold have been taking vampires and they've been diablerizing them, or some people have been diablerizing them. We could look for people, try and look for people that have diablerized recently, or something along those lines. Obviously, not Bishop, because his thing's already worn off at this point.
I see.
I don't know. Do you have any ideas?
Well,
It could be even people that have mentioned the word Society of Leopold. Or
well, what if perhaps you were to have a music video that had subliminal images planted in it, designed to perhaps
bring them to a
cause
location, maybe?
certain types of people to call a phone number if they've seen something suspicious.
It's an idea.
I'm not sure how you can manage it another way. It's the thing is that it's something that has to be an individual have to be exposed to the idea, exposed to the message of the sigil, and then the sigil may operate upon their subconscious in some way. That's typically how it would work, unless
Okay,
you're
right.
very powerful indeed, and I'm not sure either of us have that level of discipline. I can't speak for you, of course.
Do you know what I can do? Or?
I do not have a clue what you can do. But I assume that you've been made an enforcer for a reason.
That's true. It's weird, isn't it? I'm a singer. They give the enforcer a role to anyone, don't they?
To anyone. Well, you understand that being a vampire is not exactly a specialist occupation. Anyone can become a vampire, so therefore you have to select among the vampires that have the opportunity and means to do whatever is required. It's a little bit like a schoolyard.
Okay, well, getting back to the task at hand then. We've got to find a way to make this work, Victor.
Well, perhaps you need to tell me some more information.
Okay. Okay, so where should I begin? Recently
I suppose, always at the beginning.
Okay, well, where do we begin? There is a detective that we have. He's a vampire, but he diablerized another vampire in order to get there.
I see. So he was a mortal. You're saying he was
Yes.
a mortal that forced a diablerie in order to essentially force his own embrace,
He forced his own embrace.
and then diablerized the sire.
Yeah, yeah. And
In the same
there
generation as the sire immediately.
we took one of his ghouls and we questioned him, and he said that they were a part of a group that were hunting people like us, but they didn't know what we were exactly. They called us blank bodies.
Curious term.
Hmm. Um, so where do we go from there? We believe that everything that's been happening recently is due to them. We were attacked. They have sway over some of the police force. What else is there? We were looking for Sonny, the Yank, and we went to his apartment, and it had been ransacked. He was taken, and there were Schlachter-like creatures.
Schlock. That is a Sabbat construct, is it not?
Yes. They were using obtenebration and vicissitude together,
Goodness.
which is like nothing I've ever seen or heard of. Anything's possible nowadays.
Well, I don't see any reason why it's not possible. After all, I mean, one can learn out of clan disciplines.
That's true. You think maybe we could get the location of those guys? Or it's not location, it's a subconscious thing, isn't it?
Yes, the thing with this hyper sigil is essentially that the audience is going to be affected by it en masse. So you're directing the power of the masses here. Or literally, think of this as a domination power.
Right. Okay, well, I say yes to it. I will help you with that. I don't know exactly how we can use that to our advantage right now, but if you can think of a way, then we'll make it work.
Well, perhaps one way that I can think of is that you know how the authorities tend to have missing persons hotlines and anonymous phone numbers that you can call to if you've seen a crime or if you've witnessed something and so forth, or if you happen to be a member of something or you know something about something. Even if you are a member of the criminal organization, you might be granted immunity or an anonymity through this particular number, and encourages people to call in what they know. Now, you can't very well go about saying, if you've seen a breach of the Masquerade, call this number. But if you were to embed that into a hypersigil, perhaps you might find people directed to a particular office or to a particular location or place on the, what is that thing they call it now, the World Wide Web. Something.
Okay. I could get my friend Alexi to help us come up with a website that people
Yes.
can go to and anonymously mention something.
Indeed, something like that. Or potentially you could have them directed to a concert.
Kind of.
To
But
buy
if we,
to a thing that.
but how, like,
But you
how
need to be clear about what your trigger is going to be.
would it be? Would it be the members of St. Leopold that we'd bring in to that concert?
If you have, yes, but how? I mean, you can't be so open as to say, if you were a member of St. Leopold Society, come to this concert.
You mix it in with a song.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly, yes. It would have to be subliminal.
Let's do it.
Very well.
I'll come up with the meetup spot for everyone, the concert location.
Yes, you come up with the concert and the songs, etc., whatever it's going to be, and once you've got a plan with that, you can come back to me whether you want to. We can talk about how we're going to embed this hyper sigil into the music itself. Now, to be fair with you, I think that I've seen these things, music videos. They seem to be very visual, and it seems that might be a good way to embed such a thing, both sound and video together.
Okay. All right. This sounds fun.
Right.
I'm gonna go back to the others now
In
if I have
fact,
time.
all you might need is an advertisement for it. It could be the advertisement put on television that might be the means of communicating this to your mass audience.
Okay. I feel like songs get around further. Maybe a mixture of the two.
Yes, of course, yes. A campaign, if you like.
Okay.
A marketing campaign is what they would call it back in the 30s. They still call it that?
Yeah, I think so. Just maybe advertise. I don't know. No, I think that sounds right. I don't know. Anyway, I really gotta get going. I don't have a lot of time.
Yes, good luck.
All right, thank you.
Good night.
I hug him involuntarily. And then and then I'll go.
He holds you for an interminable amount of time.
Okay, I see what you're doing. You're playing games with me now, right?
Such.
Oh, you miss hugs.
Yes, of course.
I'll hug him for a bit longer,
Ah,
and then then I'll head off.
all right.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Good night. All right,
Okay.
so you head off back outside. You get on your bike.
Yeah,
And boom, 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 boom.
it's my bike.
You zoom back out through the city.
Yep.
Okay. All right, so you head off back to the airbase, I assume.
Yes.
All right, Bishop and Philippe, what have those two been up to? We haven't really talked.
All right. Actually, Bishop gets Philippe, Parker. What was the name of my detective girl? She was from Oslo.
Right. Let me.
Freya.
Yeah, I think it was Freya actually.
Yeah, you have Freya and Raya. Yeah.
Freya and Raya.
Freya and Raya. I get them.
I go to Freya.
I go to Freya. Freya.
Now, Freya, their detective agency. Do they? I'm thinking they probably have like their own offices.
Yeah, they do.
Right.
They do.
But do you go and visit those offices, or do you call them up?
I call them up and tell them all to come over to this certain place.
Okay, and that is the airbase.
Yeah. I want to have a big meeting with them all.
Okay. All right, so everybody turns up. And there's she's got 3 new assistants.
Okay.
Okay, and one of them is a lawyer or an ex-lawyer.
Okay, right. Freya.
Yes.
I want you to teach Philippe how to investigate stuff.
Well, that's not such a simple thing.
I know it's not. It's a lot to ask, but he's got some talents that you, with your knowledge, it might come in handy for you.
I see.
And
well,
I want
it's perhaps on the job. I don't know, but I mean, investigation is a whole school of people get trained in this thing over a couple of years usually.
Have you ever? But as you know, our facility we had to destroy.
Out of game, does she even know that at this point?
That would have been no. Hang on, let me. Okay, for reasons that are obvious, we had to destroy our facility at Sentinel Securities.
That was us, was it?
Yes, that was us.
I was not aware that we were part of Sentinel. So
all right.
One of your holdings, was it?
There are 2 places. And she tells that there's an apartment. The apartments are at blah 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 blah. Mm-hmm. And we had a run-in with a group called the Sabat.
I see.
All right. I want that apartment.
All right, we better clear this up right
Inve-
now. I need to know much more information about these NPCs before we go any further with this. The first thing I need to know is, do they already know about vampires, or are they just a...
yeah, she knows about vampires because she's
Ray
a
knows
ghoul.
about vampires.
Okay.
Yeah,
What about her
she's a
team?
ghoul. Yeah, yeah.
So the whole team.
I
They
told
were-
her to make.
They were
I told
originally
her-
vampire hunters.
These guys?
Yeah.
Well, they were hunting us. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay.
And then she started working for me.
All right, cool.
Okay, what I want to be able to do is go back to the apartment,
Right.
look for clues in that apartment. Is there any way we can get past the police and that will be there? Is it possible?
And out of game, does she knows that you have MI5
Yeah. We
passes?
have as you know, we have MI5 data and stuff like
Well,
that.
the obvious, out of game, the obvious way to solve this is to just make a call to Hans and say, we want to send it. I want to bring a team in to check the place out of my own, and Hans will just pull the strings to make that happen.
I'll put in a call for you I'll put in a call to somebody that will give Philippe and your team the ability to investigate this thing. This place. All right. I want fingerprints. I want the whole kit and caboodle.
All right.
You think you can do that for me?
I'm sure we can. Okay, so out of game, what also is going to happen then is you're going to call Hans. He's going to agree to all of this, but he's also going to make sure that he gets a list of all the people that you want access given to. They're going to have to get MI5 clearance. They're going to have to go through the rigmarole of getting background checks and so on and so forth, at least on paper. Yep. Even if it's not actually done, they're going to be given background checks
all right.
performed. And so they will have their own MI5 cards, or at least Scotland Yard connected.
Yeah.
They'll be in the system. All right. Everybody involved has to be in the system. And that way, whoever turns up can say, I'm from blah, 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 and they can scan them in and check them. Right?
Yeah. So
they won't have the same authority that you have. They won't be agents. They will be operatives.
Yeah, operatives. Okay. Well, that's all I need them to be if I want them to investigate the scene.
Yep.
And, of course, once they've got all that, I want them to investigate our scene as well.
Okay. Do you want them to do this? So she says, all right, so what's the priority here? Our team is probably not big enough to investigate both scenes simultaneously. Do you have a priority on one or the other?
The apartment.
Right. Also, are you able to get any records from anything the police have already found? If they've been through the place, they've probably already collected all the evidence and bagged it and taken it away. So maybe we can, get access to that would be quite helpful.
I'll get in touch with Tatiana on that.
All right. All right. Great.
All right. Now, I want Philippe as part of your team because he can actually touch objects and he can find out things from objects.
Right. Got you.
All right. That's why I want you to also teach him everything, He's got an eidetic memory, haven't you, Philippe? Oh, I'm glad somebody's talking to me. Yes, I have an eidetic memory. That may also help.
I'm sure that will be very useful. Yeah.
Yes. So I'd like you two to team up more often than not. All right. Right. What else do you think is needed, Freya?
Well, that's definitely a good start. I suppose anything we can get from the authorities that happens to be available. Any objects or vehicles, anything used in these attacks. Don't forget, you've also got the airplane attack. Also might be connected to this. So anything about that, you might want to get things like passenger lists. You might want to get any surviving documents, passports, luggage, cargo, anything like that. who was the pilot, who was in charge of the flights, who booked the flights, bank accounts connected to all the passengers, any details at all that you can get on everybody, and every single person involved should really be checked out.
He basically will talk to Tatiana's ghouls because, you know, they will know where to get all that from.
Right.
He doesn't always want to bother her, you know what I mean?
Well, perhaps you can organize it so that I can communicate with Tatiana's people directly,
all right.
not waste your time.
I'll organize it after this meeting.
Right. Now, I understand there was a helicopter involved in one of these attacks.
Yes, yes.
Do you have access to the wreckage?
I'm sure I can get us access to the wreckage.
Right, that might be a good start.
Okay.
Then we can follow up on things like make, serial number, ownership, you know, legal stuff to do with flight pilot licenses and flight plans. Was there a flight plan logged for that flight? Who logged it? And, you know, all of that sort of stuff. Was there any radio communications broadcast? Was there a black box on the plane too? That's another important thing. All of this stuff.
Parker.
Sir.
You making a list?
Yes, sir. I've got this.
Good. You comfortable there?
Not really, sir. I've got this insatiably painful piece of shrapnel stuck in my buttocks.
Oh, well, then you'll be needing this then, won't you?
What's that?
You give them a drink.
That'll help, yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
All right. All right. All right. Let me make a few phone calls. And I'll start the ball rolling, all right?
Okay. Approximately then, I guess, Sage, you come back.
Run inside. Yep. Hi, everyone.
And you see Freya and her team there.
Hello. Things aren't awkward.
For this detective agency, by the way, has it got a name?
They had a name.
Had a name?
So they had one.
They would have had one. That is true.
Yeah.
They might have changed it.
You could
because they're not in Oslo anymore, so they might have changed it.
Right. You could give them a new name if you want. Otherwise, I'll give them an old name, which you can keep using.
Maybe it could be the name of her husband that we brutally killed.
Yeah. He wasn't brutally killed. He was.
I mean, Tanya ate the shit out of him. So.
That's right. Yeah, she drank him dead. Anyway, okay. So what do you do? You're going through.
What's her name? What's her surname again?
Her name. Let me see. I'm just going to call her. So her last name is Olsen. So her name is Freya Olsen.
Okay. Olsen Olsen Detective Agency. Nice and simple.
It might be. I mean, people don't tend to call themselves detective agencies. There's got to be a. Let's see. Let's look to see what some other detective agencies call themselves. Well, they're often called. They call themselves investigators, private investigators.
Yeah. Olsen Investigations.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Okay, Olsen Investigations.
Bishop.
Yes.
So I went to go see Victor Faust. He had come to me with the idea of making a hyper sigil, which is like subliminal messaging with a magical twist, pretty much. We came up with the idea that we could come up with a hyper sigil, put that in between one of my songs and on a music video that would try and encourage the members of the Society of Leopold to get directed to one location, such as a stadium or something like that. If it works, that means we'll have them all in one location.
How will we be able to tell them from anybody else in the group? Supposedly only the Society of Leopold will go there, right? Okay,
how do you
sounds like a
prevent,
good idea.
how do you
Go
prevent
with it.
everybody else from going to this concert? And how do you justify a concert with 12 people turning up?
We don't publicize it.
Then how do you get the message to them?
The message is within the song. Come to this location
I see.
at this time.
I see.
It's an idea.
That makes sense. Yes, if it works, it sounds brilliant.
Hmm.
Oh,
Oh, you're okay.
just going to shift over to this chair over here.
Okay. Poor thing. Now I,
Your
you know
fellow,
what?
what's his name? Your boy. Can you? I suppose you could get him to get me a strong. Never mind. I can't drink tea anymore.
You wait. Why can't you drink tea anymore?
I've gone off it.
Do you want a coffee?
All right, I'll have a tea. Go on then.
Okay. There's always time for tea, Parker.
Yes.
I'll run off and go get him one.
Raya.
Raya, was it? Raya or
Yes.
Freya?
Raya, I'm talking to now.
Yeah, Raya comes across to you. Yes, sir.
How many people have you got? How many ghouls now?
Ghouls, I have only 2 right now. I'm
Only 2.
too low. I don't want to overburden myself yet. I'm still learning this whole kindred thing.
Okay.
But I have a team of mercenaries. We have 12 mercenaries on the books right now. They were the ones that we were using to drive and secure the trucks during the daytime, the armored vehicle, the bank runs. Unfortunately, we lost a lot of money and a lot of income because of that. Our main income stream has been stopped in its tracks.
Okay, well, do you think you can restore it?
Well, we're going to have to get new trucks. We're going to get a new base, and then we're going to have to pitch the idea to our old bank friends again. And the question is, are they going to take it up? Because obviously we're at risk now. We've been hit. So our reputation is not as great as it was. Parker says, I do have one correction to what you've just said, Raya. Perhaps you don't know this, but whilst you might think that Bishop's security agency is our main stream of income, that is really just our most legitimate stream of income, not the main one. It's our face to the world. Bishop, of course, you know that you make a lot more money moving weapons around than moving gold bars around.
Okay. All right. Parker.
So,
how much have we got in?
yes, sir.
I have an idea.
Yes, sir.
I want to build us a new place.
Yes.
Yes, but I'll have to talk to the prince about it because I need a favor from the prince.
I see. Well,
and from Poison Blade.
Who's Poison Blade?
I hear he runs a Nosferatu, one scary son of a bitch, they tell me.
Out of game, he does not run the Nosferatu. He is an enforcer for the Nosferatu.
No, I hear he's an enforcer for the Nosferatu. He might be able to help. I want his advice on something.
Well, good luck. I hope it goes to plan.
Yep. Okay, so Raya, you and Parker work on keeping our funds going.
All right.
All right. And get some more ghouls.
Okay, well, I should probably start with selecting from our already vetted people, the mercenaries that we're already working with.
All right. Good. Figure out what we need and make them around our needs.
Make them around. Can you say that again? I'm sorry, I missed that.
Figure out what we need and make them around those needs. Our powers are securing stuff, security, and investigation.
Right. Okay.
All right. And I know we have somebody on computers. So let's see if we can get somebody from Alexei who can do stuff when he's not around.
So I'll come back in and I'll give Parker like a tray with like a little teacup and a saucer and some biscuits on the side and some sugar and some milk. There you go.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, madam. I appreciate that.
That's all right.
No idea. Cup of tea. Ah, Romeo.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Like if a man gives you a hug for a long time, what does that mean? Like it's an odd amount of time. Like you're just meaning to give them a hug. Like, oh, thank you, give them a hug, but they hold on for a bit longer.
Well, I suppose it depends on the context, doesn't it? What do you think? I mean, the situation. What is the context exactly? It depends on who they are. I mean, if it's some young fellow with hot head, perhaps they just trying to get something they can't otherwise have, or perhaps it's some older gentleman in the same situation trying to leech a moment of their youth. Who knows?
Well, it was Victor.
I don't know a Victor.
Oh. Right. Well, I don't know. It was quite nice anyway. It was just like I thought there might be something to it. And that's what I originally thought. That the whole it could have been that he was just, mourning his youth and was just really desperate to hug someone. The opportunity came up. I don't know. Well, anyway, enjoy your meal. I'm gonna go and have a chat to Alan now. So
yes, very well.
bye.
I'll have a think upon it. If I do come up with any insights on that, I'll inform you. But I can't think of any. And perhaps they're just a little bit creepy. Perhaps they were messing with your mind. Perhaps they're trying to put you off the idea. Who knows?
Right.
A little bit of the old
Reverse psychology.
reverse psychology.
Right. I don't know. I've always felt like if you don't like me doing it, you could always tell me, and I could ignore it, like I do with Uther time and time again. Right. I gotta go see Ellen. Sorry.
Wait. Freeze for a minute.
Okay.
Freeze for a minute.
What? Do you like my idea?
Of course I like your idea. That's why I said go with it. Do the idea. Keep me up to date on what you're doing and how you're doing it. And if I can help in any way, shape or form, or anybody here can help you, you're in charge of it.
Oh boy, that's a lot of...
So run with it.
Now, a lot of responsibility.
You know how they were asking us what we should call this team?
Yes.
This specialized team. I was thinking about calling it Unit 1.
I'll be honest, it's a little bit
Just
boring.
simply Unit 1.
Unit 1.
It's what they would do. They'd make it a nice simple thing like Unit 1. Simple like that.
Is Parker in this conversation?
Yeah.
He says,
so boring.
Well, it's supposed to be boring, Sage. That's
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's designed.
It's just I wouldn't call my song Unit 1.
Well, you might be on your
not your song. Our group.
During some sort of conflict situation, you don't want to be saying, I don't know, anything that's going to reveal anything about your people. So it needs to be as simple and nondescript as possible, and also easy to remember. And you might have things like Unit 1, Unit 2, Unit 3. They might be separate units working for the same branch. And then you could also have teams, Alpha Team, Bravo Team, etc.
Yep.
Can we do
Then
it in
actual
Greek?
operatives on the scene might be named after along the lines of Alpha 1, Alpha 2, etc. Everyone needs to have a call sign.
Okay, you know what? You're in charge of that because it's super military. And
But
that's
people,
not
well,
my
while
thing.
we,
Well, your
while
call
you are
sign, your
all
radio call
here,
sign can be quite personalized.
while we are all here, we have to get our act together in some way or form. Now notice I'm not using my big commanding voice. I'm telling you we have to do this, or each one of us will spend time possibly in Ivanovich's sunroom. And I don't know about any of you, but I don't want to go there. And I'm sure we can do better than what we're doing. And Sage, that idea of yours, it's brilliant.
If it works, it'd be brilliant. It's a theoretical process, so we'll see if it works or not.
Like I said,
Oh my
if we
God.
can help, or if you come up with ideas that you need help with, tell us. All right.
Okay, I'll get onto it.
All right.
I'll try anyway. Oh. Right. I'll leave them to their military talk
Freya,
because it's one.
Yes.
I'll get the stuff that you need that we've just discussed. I'll go through Parker's list there and start doing it right now.
Right. Let's get on to it.
You and your people tell me exactly who you need, how many you need, and we will.
Okay. Well, first thing, Rhea says to you, if I can voice my opinions, I have some thoughts about vehicles. I think that the time of driving around in armored vehicles all over London is probably, I don't know, maybe we keep it as an option, but maybe what we need is some nondescript vehicles that we can travel about and look like we're just everybody else. I don't know. Perhaps we need a fleet of different vehicles, not all the same thing. Right now we have one armored vehicle left out of the whole fleet. And we've got a few motorcycles and a couple of cars. Maybe we need to look at that situation and see what it is that we can, we need to be a little bit more fluid. We should also get ourselves a whole bunch of number plates, and then we should switch them regularly. We need to have an engineer in here, a mechanic who's looking after the vehicles. Somebody needs to be doing that. I think also we need to appoint somebody to take care of making sure that all of our weapons are being cleaned regularly, and all of our equipment. Right now, everyone's taking care of their own stuff. It's taking a lot of their time and energy. We could simply have a quartermaster somewhere who does all of these types of things.
All right. He's writing all this down, by the way.
I think we need an engineer, a mechanic, a quartermaster, at least those three. Probably a comms person as well, someone who can be sitting in a comms room, putting everything together, who's keeping everyone in communication, that kind of stuff. Your friend, I've met Alexis. He seems to be that kind of a person, but he might be too useful on the field. So maybe he should be the person to invest in that particular individual. My suggestion is that each of the kindred among your team should invest one retainer to the group. You need to, I don't know, just seems like a way to connect more.
All right. Okay. All right. Let's put that all into motion.
All right. Good. So I think that besides your investigation, you've got a couple of other things to consider as well. You know, we need to be thinking about, we need to make sure that nobody has dug up anything from the last site. Okay, because we
That's why
know.
I'm gonna send. That's why I'm gonna send you there after we've done the apartment.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
Why
Right.
don't you put in a request with MI5 to see whether or not you can get all of the evidence that's been already collected from that site? If you, that
I'll
you're
do
already
that.
doing that.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that now.
All right. Yeah, and I think that everybody needs a call sign.
Okay. Okie dokie.
Um,
He'll get busy. He'll ring people and
all right. So you're getting busy. You ring people. You call hands. You get the stuff underway. Um, Before long, you have access to, you're told that you can make an appointment to go and see the wreckage of the helicopter that has been taken to a warehouse at Scotland Yard. This is a collaborative effort between Hans Brokova and Tatiana. They managed to get you access to this place. And you have an appointment tomorrow night at 11 o'clock to do that. Can't hear you.
till I get Raya and her team,
Yep.
you know, to the guy to do that all that CI5 stuff. And,
MI5.
Yeah,
Okay,
MI5
so you want
stuff.
them? Okay, do you want to actually go to the see the wreckage, or are you just going to send that team to go and do it?
I'll
You do
send that
either, right?
team to go and do it.
Okay. All right, that's fair enough. Sounds reasonable. All right, that's happening. Meanwhile, Sage, what are you doing?
Well, I have enough blood now. I'm going to heal myself up, and I'm going to give some blood to Alan. And
So you've got 3 levels of aggravated. You can only heal 1 per day.
yeah, I'm giving him my blood. It's been a new day, right?
It is, well, you go to sleep and it can be a new day, certainly.
Okay.
Yep. So we'll say
We
that,
would have had to have done that anyway. It was like cutting it fine.
yeah.
So let's start a new day.
All right, we're starting a new day.
Yeah.
You guys will get up and do your normal basic things. You do a few other bits of, respond to emails, messages, phone calls, and so on. Back on track. Next meeting comes, or you've got something that you want to do specifically. What is it?
Well, I'm going to. Okay, I'll check up on Electra actually. She'll be able to help me with this concert thing.
All right. You give Electra a call.
Yes.
She answers the phone.
Hello.
Paige, are you okay?
Hi.
I've been
Yes,
so
I'm
worried about you.
I'm okay. I'm sorry I had to. I'm sorry you had to cancel your party. Please say you did.
Well, we had our own little thing.
Okay, as long as it was kept inside and it didn't involve all the Toreador
No,
in the world.
of course, we had to calm it down a lot. It wasn't very satisfactory, and but I hope this isn't going to continue indefinitely.
Let's hope not. So I have an idea for a bit of a trap. I want to have I want to plan a concert, but sell no tickets. And it's really just going to draw in a specific type of person.
Okay.
So I need a location. I need it to be a location that might be okay with being hit with gunfire.
Really? I'm afraid that, Sage, this is not really my specialty. I'm not used to dealing with this sort of thing at all. I'm used to dealing with actual legitimate artistic pursuits and talent and audiences and so forth.
Right.
If you want to look, if I was you, if you want something like that, maybe you want to talk to someone like Thracius or
Good idea.
Can take,
will you be able to help me with the first part of it, which is to get my I want to bring out a song.
So it's a single?
Yep, a single. It's
Is it
its
connected to
main.
the next album, or do we have an album to sell here, or is it just a single?
I might make it. Well, this one in particular will be a single. The album, I have that all planned. All I need to do is start recording it, and everything will be fine there.
See, the thing is that with a look, here's something that somebody told me about the music industry that maybe not everybody understands, but like typically a music video is an advert for a single, and a single is an advert for an album. So if you're going to make a single, it pretty much has to come from an album.
Okay, right.
Either that, or you're selling a single without an album, which I don't know. It's been done a few times, but it's not usually very popular.
Okay.
Missing out on an opportunity to upsell as well.
Right. Yeah. The thing is that this is going to be a song that will draw a specific type of person.
Right.
Like.
But could it be a song that also just happens to be a popular song as well, so that it gets around to those types of people?
Yes, right. You know what? I actually might have another idea.
All right. Well,
I will attach it to an album. I'm going to have to quick about it, and I'm going to have to make. I'm going to have to put together an album. Now I have a lot of songs that I haven't publicized, so I'll pick and choose which ones I like, and I'll put them into like an album idea, and I'll come to you guys with it.
Right. All right. Well, I'll tell you what then. I'll organize a meeting with Stent for tomorrow night, if you like, and
Perfect.
we can begin the process. Is that acceptable?
Acceptable.
Excellent.
Utterly.
Look forward to that.
Thank you.
Such a talent, Sage. I always enjoy working with you. And you're always up to such interesting things.
Thank you. It's not intentional. It's just what happens.
Well,
but yeah, thank you.
Certainly gets a lot of excitement for me in my life.
All right. Well, thank you for this. I will see him tomorrow, and hopefully you.
Yeah, I'll be there. I mean, look. I didn't think about that, but we are down right now.
That's
How
true.
we do this? Perhaps.
Does he have his own like recording studio in his house or something? I don't know. Some people do. Well, he might know someone that does.
I don't think he does. He's a little bit above that now. He maybe 20, 30 years ago he might have done something like that, but I'm pretty sure he's just runs everything out of the record label now down in she names the name of the street where it is. But
right.
Perhaps we can. I mean, there's ways to get past the checkpoints if we need to. I mean, maybe
I have a way.
You got a way?
I could pick you up.
Right. Okay. Well, this has got to do with you being an enforcer now, isn't it?
It sure does. Yeah.
So you've got ways around. So maybe we could organize another party when.
No, no, Lecture. I want you safe.
Well, I don't know. I feel quite safe, especially when you're around.
Thank you, but I don't know about that anymore. My poor Alan. He's a vampire now, and
oh really?
They can't stop getting hurt.
Oh, that's going to be a problem. Oh dear. When did that happen?
A whole soccer. About 3 nights ago.
I just booked
4 nights ago
for an advert. They're shooting in a couple of days, just out in Brighton. And
well, nights maybe.
Yeah, I'll try and convince them to change their schedule to shoot at night, but I don't know whether that's really feasible. But all right.
Sorry.
Oh, I'm sure you'll have to explain it to him, not me. I don't care.
Okay.
He's the one that would have been working.
Well, thank you. I must get onto it.
Very well. Good night. Good luck.
Good night.
Click. All right.
And then Sage just like rushes around, sits next to Alan and is just like, okay, I've got to write a few songs.
Gotta write a song. What are you doing, Sage? We're in the middle of a crisis. Bishop's running around organizing weapons and investigations. You're writing fucking songs.
Oh, I I know
I mean,
that
I
I've
don't
got.
want to be rude or nothing, but he's going to get you for this. He realizes if he catches you writing songs in the middle of this whole crisis, he's going to be pissed.
I'm sure he'd be fine with it. He knows what I'm planning.
I
So I'm going to make an album. It's going to
I'm fucking
be.
scared of Bishop right now.
I'll whisper in Alan's ear. It's going to be a Tremere inspired album.
I don't know what that is.
Do you know what the Tremere are?
Yeah, there's a clan that aren't they like the freaky sorcerer vampires or something?
Not freaky.
They're
They're
not.
quite lovely, actually. So.
Oh, all right, I take it back. Sorry, that's just what I've been told.
However, I have to go home.
Gotta go home.
I gotta go home in order to get my music notes, my sheet music.
Drive you or something.
You are hurt. I am not allowing that.
Yeah, but I'm getting really tired of this place, and besides, every time I see Bishop, he's got a look in his eye like he could just kill me.
I'm just looking at Barry.
He has? Why?
Well, because Bishop's been running around being angry at people, so he's.
Oh, of course.
As you do.
People get the wrong idea sometimes, and that's their projections, not yours. But hey.
Bishop, do we still have security on my warehouse?
Who you saying that to, Alan?
Bishop.
Bishop. You're calling out to Bishop?
Hello? What?
Do I still have security at my warehouse? At the factory?
I didn't think you were living there anymore. I thought you were living here.
I'm still paying for it.
Well, then take your security from over there and tell them you're living at your place.
Okay.
All right. Go on.
Okay. Could you guys come with me to my home?
All right.
I yell at the security.
All right. So you take your new your security team off to your old house.
Why are you going to your home? Can I ask?
I gotta get some sheet music.
Sheet music.
I gotta get my music. Yeah, my music.
Okay, is it for that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Also,
be careful now. Don't
I haven't been home in like
dangerous out.
half a year.
It's still dangerous out there, girl.
Okay. Thank you.
Take your guns.
Okay. I will. And then I'll wrap up.
Not the sniper one either.
Okay. All right. Calm down. Calm down, Dad. I'm going to wrap up Alan in multiple bulletproof vests and also a little Corey. And then we'll travel.
I can see what you're doing. What are you doing to him?
As you
he loves it.
As you're going.
It's fine.
Oh my god, I don't want your mailing list.
Russell, I'll also ask for I don't know what the English call them. You know what they call them. The film of that area before it happened, before and after.
Mrs. Freya gives you this particular gun and this link, by the way. Sage.
Okay.
Okay.
CCTV camera footage.
Yeah. I can't get my tongue around it.
Which areas are you?
But I'll ask for that as well.
Is there a picture?
Which area are we talking about?
I want the bank stuff as well.
Yep.
I want anything connected with the band. And I'll get the guys to check the remainder of the band as the last thing.
Okay.
To investigate the remainder of the van is the last thing.
What happened to the van in the end? I can't remember.
It blew up.
Right.
It blew up. So yes, I want that stuff, and I want the pictures for when the helicopter showed up, and what was the name of the guy that lived in the apartment?
Oh, you mean Sonny the Yank?
Yes, I want pictures of his apartment an hour before everything started to happen.
Okay, so video from
Just in case there are cars out there that stay there for a long time, you know what I mean?
All right, very good. Who are you requesting the stuff from, by the way?
Tatiana.
Okay. You get a response saying, yes, we're onto that stuff. I'll get you all of the stuff and probably a little bit more. I can probably pull footage for the last 24 hours of surveillance on those locations.
That'll be cool. That'll be cool.
It does mean that there'll be more work to comb through it, but she suggests we comb through it backwards rather than forwards, so that we start at T-0 and then move backwards in time to see, basically what happened that way.
Yeah.
All right. Very good. So that is all underway. Okay. I'm also going to suggest Alexei probably has something to do with some of this stuff as well, but he's obviously not here, so we'll talk about how he is.
Oh yeah, I'm naturally assuming that kind of stuff is going to Alexei and his people, because they'll see stuff.
You can be communicating that with him via text message or email.
Yeah.
We can assume that he was responding appropriately. Okay. Dr. Shipman hasn't been seen for a while.
You really did a number on him.
Yeah, amazing. Okay, so you okay, so flight plans for helicopters. There was a flight plan lodged, but the helicopter fairly quickly veered off the flight plan. It took off from an airport in northern London. It was stolen, by the looks of it, from a military airbase, so a current military airbase. And it was outfitted as a gunship at the command of Brigadier General Phelps, whose address and details are contained in this data. Phelps apparently was not present on the day that it was in fact commandeered, and couldn't have in fact been involved, but his name was used and somebody had access to his authority and records. Who and how, nobody is quite sure at this point. There was reports of a stranger entering the airbase a few days before. Funnily enough, nobody can remember what they look like, and the security footage of that stranger has been erased. Only 2 people saw that stranger that have any memory at all, claiming that it was a fairly stocky male in fatigues that didn't match the uniform of the airbase's actual proper uniform. And they had short brown hair and glasses. And this person came and went. The security footage has been erased of that person. There's no photographs or images, but there is a sketch that is being produced by an artist. You know what? Being produced by Philippe. Philippe gets to interview the person.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll send him over there to do like they do criminal sketches.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's part of the training that you get from your investigative team as well, Philippe. You wanted him trained as an investigator. Well, first of all, they're going to put him to work as a forensics artist. Yeah. Okay, so that's the first thing. They are lifting fingerprints to see if they can find anything. There are some strange fingerprints that they've found in the security room at that airbase.
Oh, and I'm sending this information also to the order.
Okay. All right. So it all gets, there's like everything's blind carbon copied to the order.
Yeah.
So nobody knows that it's been copied, but they're being filled in separately. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're filing 2 reports basically at all times. Okay. The helicopter also, let's see. What's in my notes over here? Right. Yeah. So you've got a couple of fingerprints that have not been identified and are not in any records of any of the British MI5, CI, any of your allies records. Basically, then no criminal record attached to those fingerprints. So they obviously
Military records.
military records.
Yeah, any of those fingerprints communicate to a military person.
Okay. So you really do a number on these military records and these fingerprints, do you?
Yeah.
You're gonna run them through every system you can get your hands on.
Yeah.
It's going to take a few hours, and let's say that this investigation, this is the end of the following night. Okay.
Okay.
And you get one hit on those fingerprints, and they are from World War II. There was a captain at an airfield during World War II named Captain. Quickly make up a fake name.
English?
Jack Sparrow.
No. No.
Oh.
I'll take Jack. Jack Harlow. Captain Jack Harlow. And he was thrown out of the Air Force. He failed as a pilot, got thrown out of the Air Force during World War II for stealing and other bad behavior. That was at the beginning of the war, during the first year of World War II.
What was his address?
So they start digging up addresses and stuff. That takes a little bit longer. They give you an address. He was not born in England. In fact, he was born in oh dear, let me have a look. See.
Oslo?
No.
Oh, thank God.
No.
Name sounds American. But,
he was brought up in Whitby, which is on the coast of, like, where on the closest to France, that side, the east coast of England, in northern England, basically, getting up close to Hull and Leeds and York. Okay, so you've got an address in a small town up there. Yeah, what did I say it was? Whitby.
Can
Yeah.
we'll send some of Freya's investigators to go and investigate that for us.
All right.
Yep.
They ask you, do you want us to go personally, or shall we call up a more local investigation team up there to do it, because they'll be able to get there faster and get onto it, or do you want one of us to fly up there?
Do a local, and if it looks like something interesting, go yourself.
All right.
Send someone yourself.
Okay. All right. So a few hours later, you're going to find out that there is an old couple living in that house now. They've been living there for 30 years. Before they lived there, there was another family that lived there. And before that, another family. So it's third hand since then. That house has been sold a few times.
Okay.
The records of the original owners can be pulled.
Yep, pull them.
The original owners are both dead now. Apparently, that the parents, the family, are gone. They're deceased. They had a couple of children, 3 children, 2 girls and a boy. They went to the same schools. They were private schools.
Where are they now?
One of the women became a doctor.
Yeah.
One of them died during childbirth, and the man, he left and moved to mainland Europe years ago, went to live in France.
Okay. All right. We'll let my compatriot do some playing now. Give me
Alright.
time to think.
All right, you have a think. So what are you up to, Sage?
I went to the factory
The factory.
where I used to live.
Right. Gotcha. Okay, so you get to the factory. And what do you do there? You go in through the front door?
Yep. I know what I'm about to experience is my place been trashed. I hadn't gone there since Lionel died.
Right.
So someone would have cleaned him up, and that's been it. It's when did that happen? It wasn't too long ago, actually, right?
Probably a week, but maybe.
Mm.
I don't know for sure, but I'm thinking it's like a
Yeah,
week.
it wasn't too long ago. Open the door and like look around.
Yeah.
Nothing's gonna explode on me.
Nothing seems to be touched.
Okay. I look at Alan.
Yeah. Alan's currently leaning on a crutch. He's got one crutch that he's using.
Cat in the other arm.
Yeah, he puts the cat down and the cat runs upstairs to where its feeding bowl used to be. Well, poor Ace.
Security will look through her place.
Eh?
Security would look through her place.
All right, so you send this. Yeah, I guess the security team would go through first and just check the place out. They go through with fucking guns and like a SWAT team and just make sure it's empty first. Okay, that makes sense. And it seems to be clean. Seems to be clean of bad guys. It's not
good.
clean. It's in as much mess as you left it in, Sage.
Yep. Okay. I'm just gonna like look downstairs, even though that's not where I was originally. Downstairs is where Alan, that was his room, and that's where he trashed it. And because it's changing, you know, his feeding and stuff.
Right.
He trashed his room, and then he yeah. So Alan, we might need to get you more furniture. This one's actually, I mean, well, Kit hasn't been here in a while, so maybe we could give her room to you. Now it's sunproof. It's right next to mine.
Yeah.
I mean, you could always stay with me whenever you want, but
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I've got an idea too. What if I know this is like maybe this is a bit, radical, but what if I had my own place? I mean, like
you already do have your own place.
you're a vampire and you've got your own place, and I could have a house somewhere, where I could, do stuff, have parties, and you could come and visit me and stay there too. It could be like a safe house.
Alan,
Yeah.
are you still into me, or
Yeah.
I don't know. Are you?
Obviously.
I mean, you don't have to be. You don't want to be.
Oh, it's I'm just. It would be nice to have one's own place. That's all. I mean, look, we're looking at eternity, right? It's a big picture.
Yes.
No, out of game. I'm just looking at some warehouses for sale in London. This is a factory, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't want a warehouse. I want a factory.
Already, I had that Sims thing.
Oh yeah. You've actually got a
yeah. Well, yeah, you guys have already seen it. You know, it's like, there's a bar downstairs and all that.
Right.
So I'll just sort of like leave him to that thought, and I'll go upstairs to the top, and I will open my door and get out my song lyrics and stuff.
Right. So
and just see which ones I want to put towards making the Tremere album. I thought this would be pretty cool to put towards a Tremere album because Tremere magic is being involved.
Right.
That'd be pretty cool.
Okay, fair enough. So that's what you're going to spend the evening on, is that right?
Mhm.
Pretty much. Okay.
Yep.
Cool. So you're working away at that. Security camera footage comes back. What can I tell you? There are some gaps in it. The footage from the apartment, from Sonny's apartment. There are gaps in that footage.
When you say gaps, are they crackly and
Yeah.
hardly seeable?
Yeah, exactly.
I talked to Alexi about making. Can we kind of try and make them seeable?
You want to clean it up? Try
Yeah,
and clean
can we
up the
clean
footage?
it up?
All right.
Yeah.
I'm sure he can work on that. More time will
Okay.
be taken to do that.
Of course.
Yep.
This pilot's fingerprints.
Pilot's fingerprints.
You know
he was
the guy from World War II, rather.
Yeah, he was a
Sorry.
pilot. Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. Has he got living family?
Yeah, he's got descendants. I mean, the daughter of that family that became a doctor, you think must be
Yep.
his sister.
Okay.
The other one's dead, and the brother of that family is probably him, said to have gone to France after the war. So if he's supposed to be in France, well, what's he doing here? There's no record of anybody by his name re-entering the country at any point.
Okay.
So I mean, if the records are correct, this guy must be about 80, and he's been in France for the last 60 years.
I'm going to spend some money and send somebody from the investigative team over there to see if he is 80.
Over to France?
Yes.
Okay. Well, all right. So you literally put someone on the plane and send them off.
Yeah.
All
and
right.
say, I want you to see if this person is 80 or looks 80.
All right. Well, they go to the town in which he's supposed to be in. Let's say it is, choose a French town. Hang on, Rennes-le-Château is the name of the town. And when they get there, they dig around and they find a gravestone for this guy. And there is a record of a very quiet little funeral that was paid for. He bought his plot for his grave prior to his death. Oddly enough, he bought it 3 weeks before his actual funeral. He purchased a grave and a gravestone, had it engraved, and then promptly died 3 weeks later and was buried.
I want him. If he's talking to me about this information, I say stay there.
All right.
Keep an eye on the house, and
well, there's the house itself has been bulldozed.
Yeah.
So it doesn't exist anymore. It's been turned into a city apartment block.
Okay.
The name that he was going. Did I give you a name for this guy? I haven't, have I?
Yeah.
I mean, he was a pilot. Oh no, this was
did.
Captain Jack. What did I say?
Captain Jack.
Harlow?
Harlow. Yeah.
Yeah, Harlow. Yeah.
Yeah. So this guy Jack Harlow, apparently buried in 1968.
Yeah.
You know what? I lie. It's going to be earlier than that. He was buried in. War ended in 45. Was it 1945?
45. Yeah, 1945.
So we'll say it was 1956.
Yeah.
Which means he's been dead for 44 years in 1999.
Okay.
It is said that your investigator gets back to you, having done some digging around, to say that
Yep.
there is a rumor that he told somebody that he was once in the French Foreign Legion after the war, and he was dismissed from the French Foreign Legion because they've got very high standards.
I'll send him to check that out.
Okay. They come back with information that he fought in Algiers before being dismissed.
Okay. So that's his fingerprint. So in order for that to be his fingerprint, he has to be a. Do vampires have fingerprints?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it depends, is the actual correct answer, because you've got fingerprints, right? They're physically there. That your fingers don't just fall off. When you become a vampire, you still have skin. Your skin doesn't change, but you no longer secrete acid or any kind of liquid or oil out of your skin as a vampire, right? So you're not leaving fingerprints on everything, but you could take a fingerprint from a vampire, but you might not get a fingerprint necessarily off a vampire. Which begs the question as to why there's fingerprints in the office, in the security room, and so on. And it might be if they spilled something
Philippe,
themselves, or
unless Philippe touched it.
right. Okay. Well, actually, the answer here is going to be that they analyze. The analysis comes back from the fingerprints. The fingerprints were left because there was in fact blood on his fingers. That blood was, basically almost dry by the time he left those fingerprints. They must have had to kill someone on the way in there. And we find out that there is a security guard that's been missing for a couple of days. Damn you for complicating my life, though, Barry, asking me questions about fingerprints. Because now I have
Sorry.
to spot, you see, and justify myself.
Sorry.
Love you all.
Okay, all right. Then he's a vampire. He must be. Because we would have to fake our death every so often as vampires, wouldn't we?
Well, it definitely adds up. I mean, Parker would agree with you that he was a vampire. Parker would say that, given that he was dismissed from the military, he went to France, and then, he did some training with the French Foreign Legion and went to Algiers. Then he's obviously done this whole thing with the gravestone. The fact that he bought the gravestone and the grave, and then he died 3 weeks later, is very coincidental.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Almost a bit of a rush, in fact.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
And there's also, Parker would also say to you, isn't there a whole tradition of the Sabbat and graves and stuff?
Yeah. That's the next thing I'm going to do. I'm going to tell that guy to do a search of the closest graveyards in that area. See if there's been any fresh dig-ups, so to speak, or strange disappearance of bodies, or...
Right. Well, apparently there hasn't been anything like that recently, but back in the 50s, there was at least one incident where fresh graves had been dug up. And curiously enough, they apparently had to rebury this guy because, he was one of the graves that got dug up.
Okay.
So,
okay.
which now begs the question is whether or not there is a body in the grave.
Well, I can't do anything about exhuming it. I
Well,
could.
Parker will say to you, well, if you happen to be MI5, surely you can speak to Mr. Bokova and ask them to get in touch with Interpol, who might be able to twist the arm of the local French authorities to exhume it for some sort of law enforcement case, some international, I don't know, think of a reason. Think of some crime that might involve a body in a hole somewhere. I mean, murder would be the obvious one. Kidnapping, I don't know.
Okay.
Sage, you're writing songs, right?
Yep. Oh no, I have lots of
You've got the
songs.
songs. You're composing an album together.
Yeah.
Okay, so you want to make a wits and performance check.
Charisma.
No, it's not charisma because you've already written the songs. This is more wits.
Aren't I singing them?
Are you singing them, or are you just choosing which songs to put on an album?
Suppose it's right there. Okay, whatever. But sorry, what's and what now?
Still performance.
Performance. Okay. Nope.
Okay, you're trying to find songs that will fit together and make some kind of theme or pattern
Yeah.
that would make sense. And they were written originally for a different album, right? Or not even for an album, they're just written as
Yeah.
individually.
They're all over the place.
Yeah, so they're a little bit all over the place. So you're sort of starting to think you might have to compose a couple of new songs. You either need to go with this group of songs and then add 4 more songs, or this group of songs and add another 3 songs. That sounds easier than that, but then this theme's more difficult to write about than that one, so it's complicated.
I think I'll go with the. I want to make like a really good album, so I'll go. If it takes making 4 songs, then I'll go with that.
Okay.
Or if it takes yeah.
All right. So do you want to start writing lyrics for these songs? And
Yep.
All right. So we'll get 4 songs. You want to make charisma and performance checks for 4 songs. See how
6.
each song takes. How long does it take to write a song? Do you reckon? It depends.
Maybe
Sometimes you're in the flow, and you might write a song in 5 minutes.
Yeah. I don't know. I would say maybe if you say maybe an hour each, it might balance each other out. Maybe.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Maybe even 2 hours.
And I think that the dice themselves may answer the question too.
Mm.
So let's try 4 songs. Let's see what we get.
So 6, 3. Like, maybe I'll try again with that one. 2. It's getting worse.
Right.
Come on.
Your first one is a banger, but the other 2 so far are kind of rubbish by your standards, at least.
Yep. I've got the cat in there, but Alan, I'll be like, Alan, I'm sorry, but I can't have you here.
Oh, come on. All right.
Actually,
what?
I don't know. I think I just need something magical in my life right now.
I have vampire blood.
That's true.
You're saying I'm not fucking magical.
I'm saying what I need to do is I need to go to Victor's house.
Right. All right. Well, sure. Do you want me to stay here, or you want me to come with you? What do you want to do?
What do you want to do?
I don't know. I'm not feeling great. I'd rather, I don't know, watch some footy or something. I don't know.
Okay. I mean, if you're here,
I can look after the house and look after the cat. How about that?
That's a good idea. Thank you. I'll
I'll
kiss him on the cheek.
I'm going to go and get some. Oh, the fucking shops are closed, aren't they? God damn it. How are you supposed to buy anything when everything's shut down with military trucks everywhere and cops everywhere you look?
That's why we make retainers like you used to be.
Yeah, well, I'm going to have to work on that. I haven't even had time to make a retainer. Come on.
Oh, that's absolutely fair. And I think what you need to do is you need to just, I guess, try and figure out more about your vampire abilities. Keep working on the ones that you have.
I've got an idea about how I can make a lot of money, though.
How's that?
Well, it so happens that I know some of the board members of the European Football Union.
I don't know where you're going with this.
Well, they make a fucking shitload of money.
Do you want to charm them?
Yeah.
Okay. Just remember, has to be during night. Also, you should get in touch with Electra. She's got some things you'll need to work on with
Oh,
your
really?
acting career
She got some
and
more
your
auditions.
football career.
Right. Yeah, get onto that. Oh,
Yes,
okay.
but
Oh,
also
that's
because of
come
the
on.
whole she didn't know that you were a vampire until I told her like yesterday.
Oh my god. Okay, and what does that mean?
Means things might have changed a little. Um,
Well, they have
uh,
changed a little, haven't they? A little bit.
yes.
Yeah.
I want to stay with you and I want to help you with all this. I can't teach you thaumaturgy just now because I need Uther to be home.
I need to be able to concentrate. I need to be not in pain.
I'm sorry, I'm just really overwhelmed right now. I just want things to be nice for you.
Do your thing, Sage. Do your thing. I'll look after the cat, all right?
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
I'll call someone and get us some fucking milk.
If you go feeding, you look fine. But if you ever go feeding, just remember, think of a song that has kind of a fast tempo, right? And when a person's heartbeat matches with that, then stop. Because if it's going too fast, then you're getting too close to.
Right. I see.
Want them.
Right, so that'll stop me from accidentally killing them, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, I know it's a bit hard, and we need to work on that.
Right.
Anyway, I really got to go.
Right, piss off, Sage. Just piss off. Go.
Okay.
Everything's all right. Just go. You take the car. I'll wait. You can come back and pick me up when you're done. All right. I mean, are we staying here or are we going to go back to the base?
Oh, I really want to stay here.
Well, we probably
It's so much nicer.
We probably need to check in with the rest of the team. I don't want Bishop giving me a fucking lecture again.
Okay. I gotta go make some songs.
When did I give this lecture?
You gave everyone a lecture. He was there, and he just took it personally.
No.
Because he's a narcissist.
Poor Alan.
Well, not a narcissist, but he has some narcissistic tendencies. All right.
So I am going to drive to Victor Pass once again without making an appointment or anything.
Okay, so you get to Victor's house. All right. And
yeah.
enough, he opens the door this time, and his man's standing back in the corner. And he says, for some strange reason, I was expecting you tonight. Isn't that odd?
That is odd. That is odd.
Do come in.
I will come in, but what are you doing? How did you know?
Little bird told me.
I look around for a bird.
You won't find it here. Now, I assume you've thought about what we've talked about and you've got some ideas.
Mm-hmm. I'm currently making an album because the single I want to make for this, it needs to be attached to an album. The album I'm creating is going to be one that is very Tremere themed without obviously mentioning the Tremere.
I see.
So that's why I came here, because I thought maybe I could get your take on things. Maybe you could look over my lyrics and we could work together to make music.
Well, yes, that would be very interesting. You know, I do play the violin.
I love the violin.
Yes.
Do you want to play something? And
well, I have a few pieces in my repertoire, but I can give it a go if you like. Says, would you like to hear?
I would love to hear.
Takes you into his room out the back, the secret tunnel, blah blah blah.
Secret tunnel.
He takes out a violin case that was previously in a box, and it's dusty. It looks like it hasn't been opened in years. He taps it off, and blows all the dust off the top of it. Takes out the bowstring, blows all the dust off that because of a shake. Dong 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 dong. A bunch of spider comes climbing out from the inside of it. Oh dear, don't need you in there. Don't want to hurt you, young fellow, and put you over here. Now, let's see. He spins it over, and he does that quite expertly, actually, with a certain amount of dexterity. Might have to tighten this up a little. Let's just try this out. Oh dear, that sounds like a cat having its testicles ripped off.
Weirdly, that's quite close to the modern music.
Try that. Yes, I don't disagree with you there. I do
Hmm.
listen occasionally to the wireless. Now, he starts
Have you
playing.
heard of Vile Industrial?
No. What?
Vile Industrial? It's violin and industrial music.
What is industrial music? Is that produced in factories or something?
You know, it's pretty damn close. It's just a lot of tinny noises.
That sounds
Metal on metal, I
damnable
think.
and awful. Infernal, even.
Hmm.
Out of game, I rolled for his performance check an 8, a 7, a 6, a 6, and a 7.
Damn. Okay, well, I'm gonna take some of his I'm gonna siphon some of his
Talent.
talent, yeah,
All right.
and
Very good.
make
So
some lyrics, put some lyrics to it.
okay, so you guys spend the rest of the evening, or at least a couple of hours, doing this.
Yep.
Okay. Would you like to make a perception and performance check?
No. Sounds downright horrible.
Doesn't it? How good are you at listening?
Actually, my perception's awesome. It's the same. Okay. Okay. So 4. Okay.
With two
Not too
tens.
bad.
Nice.
Um,
One, but still, yeah. Okay. All right. So you can keep that into consideration as you go forward.
can I make 2 more songs with them?
All right. You can.
Okay.
He says, "I'm going to have to go to a little soiree at the Chantry House at 2:00. So don't keep me here for too long." His next piece is nowhere near as good. He does get a 10, but he gets a 1, and he only gets one other success, which is a 9. No, it's not. It's a 6. Yeah, one success, one very average.
Oh, well, I got 6, so I think the lyrics carried that one.
Okay.
You should work better. Work on that one more, because I made some pretty cool music to it.
I mean, the other thing that occurs to you is you might be able to like take samples, like violin samples, and put them in places, speed them up, slow them down, change the pitch, that sort of stuff. Put them through digital filters.
Vile Industrial.
His next song comes out as a 7, 6, 6, 7, 9.
I got 4 successes there, so.
Right. Okay.
Wow.
Not bad.
We should play music together more often.
Perhaps. Time is of the essence. And with that, I'm afraid I'm going to have to go. Our dear friend Mr. D is not very forgiving when it comes to schedules.
I can't go with you?
I'm afraid not.
Let me guess, it's a ritual, and I can tell what he's like. He's very much keeping the secrets of the Chantry to themselves.
Of course. We are the Tremere. That is what we do.
You know, okay, you don't really know me, and I don't really know you, but I'm just as good, you know.
Just as good. Just as good, but perhaps not as dedicated to our mission.
How can one be dedicated to your mission if you're not allowed to be a part of it?
We are a family. Outsiders can never be trusted to the full extent that insiders can. Blood, as they say, is thicker than water, and that's unfortunately how it is. I could perhaps work with you privately outside the Chantry from time to time like this. There is also one other matter to be considered. The matter of your sirage.
No. Don't blame him.
I don't blame anyone, but orders from up on high must be kept and followed strictly.
Well, you know, I'm not Messiah.
And you know that I'm already risking much talking to you. let alone having you in my house, let alone having you in my ritual space, let alone performing magic with you. You see? So,
Okay.
that's how it is.
Okay. It's fine. I completely understand. No hurt feelings here.
Good, good. Doesn't mean we can't be friends. Perhaps from time to time share a little bit of information.
What do you want to know? I mean,
Oh,
I already gave you information about what we're up against.
I assumed it would be me helping you with information, frankly, but if you want to help me with information, that's also very welcome. What is going on? What's going on behind all of these bombings and planes falling out of the sky?
I already told you. It's the Society of Leopold.
Right.
And potentially the spot are behind them.
It seems unusual to me. I'll tell you, perhaps this business with the Sabbat behind them makes some more sense if you consider that the Society of Leopold believe themselves to be on a holy crusade against the darkness. The likelihood of them crashing planes with hundreds of people in them or killing huge numbers of people like this, the amount of violence and carnage that has erupted around this situation seems to outstrip the Society of Leopold's usual modus operandi. They have been in the past prepared to sacrifice a few individuals for the sake of the greater good, but never so many as hundreds of mortals on, for example, flying an airplane. You see, so
That's exactly what I thought. It
I find it
felt a very Sabbat thing to do.
yes. So this notion that it is some sort of either a coincidence or some sort of merger, whether or not,
Which makes it incredibly scary.
yes, yes, and how the Sabbat are controlling the Society of Leopold, if indeed they are, is an even more interesting question. The Society of Leopold has been impenetrable for centuries, as far as I'm aware. They, it is said, I really must get a move on, but it is said that the Society of Leopolds, amongst their various members, there are some that have true faith. You're aware of true faith?
I am. It's when they believe in a higher power so much so that they can wield it like a weapon against us.
That is specifically incorrect. Yes.
Oh.
Specifically and correct.
Oh, okay.
Specifically
Broke
correct.
my heart there. Okay.
Sorry about that. That was my poor phrasing. No, that is exactly correct. Exactly correct. Yes. Well, I must go.
Okay.
Good luck with your investigations.
Okay. Oh, tell the others. Say that this is the reason, and that everyone like meeting up even in the chantry say might be it might be a hot spot. They might know. So
Very well. I'll consider that. Yes.
okay.
It's very
I had to
difficult
stop a Toreador party.
Typically, I travel to the Chantry by the subway that I take the underground, but with the lockdown, there's no underground presently, or very few trains, and they're all filled up with official people and equipment being moved about by the military.
Would you like a lift?
You're offering me one? Well, I'm sure my fellow here will be very pleased to know he doesn't have to drive me this evening, let alone go through all those infernal checkpoints.
Now I have had no formal training, so so put your seatbelt on.
You do have a driver's license?
I'm working on it.
I see. If anyone stops us, don't worry.
I've got like a magical pass of
Yes.
It's fine.
MI5. You'd think MI5
Yeah.
would give you a license, for God's sake, wouldn't you? I mean, they should probably give you a library card too.
Yes.
All right.
Sure.
Let's go.
Yeah.
You get in your car and are you on a car or a bike?
Bike. I'm on the bike. Hop on the bike. Don't worry about the seat belt. Just hold on to me. Let's go.
Do you have a helmet?
You can wear the helmet.
I'm not sure about this. All right, I suppose.
No one ever is.
Yes, yes. I haven't been on a motorcycle for a long time. He puts the helmet on. It's a bit more comfortable than the last one I wore. Clips it on.
Hold on. Oh, I'm sorry that you can't wear your hat.
Pity.
Right.
All right, off you go. Brum brum. Okay, and you get to the Chantry House, to the Tower of London, and he waves you goodbye, gives you your helmet
Bye.
back, and
Thank you.
he goes in through the back gate, and some beef eaters let him in, and he disappears. And you go where?
I'm going to the warehouse.
The warehouse.
Factory. The
The
factory.
warehouse. The factory. Back to the factory. Okay.
That's where I left my Alan.
Alan's there watching football. In fact, he's playing the PlayStation FIFA World Cup game on the PlayStation.
FIFA 2000.
Yeah, some shit like that. Equivalent thereof. Meanwhile, Barry. So Philippe's been drawing pictures, getting information, touching objects.
Yeah.
Let's make a specs check for Felipe. And so far he's basically been working on this one guy.
Yeah.
Let me pull up your stats. Excuse me. Now, it's perception and empathy, I think, isn't it? For this check.
Which one is that? Sorry.
Spirit's touch.
I think it was like difficulty 8. Or wait, no, difficulty is impression of something. Hold on.
Here's the news. You rolled a 10, an 8, an 8, an 8, 6.
Yeah. Age of impression.
So you got a bunch of impressions off that. Right, so you get an image of the person's face, which, funnily enough, matches up with the picture that you drew for the ID picture that you did from the witnesses who saw the stranger in the odd uniform. Place. You get an image of them basically ripping out the videotapes in the security room and wiping a magnet over them and putting them back in again. You get images of them doctoring files and changing some names in the books, and basically allowing a team of mercenaries to come in here and take that chopper. Basically, he opened up a hole in the security where nobody would be, so that they could get in. A whole team of them came in and they took that chopper. And they had even loaded it up previously. They'd gotten the military to load it up for a training exercise called Operation Egbert, which was supposed to be a live fire training exercise that was going to happen up near the Scottish border, but instead they stole the helicopter and flew it straight into town and attacked the apartment. And they spent some time being ready for that too. You know, they were basically just waiting for something to happen. They disappeared after they took the chopper, and they were gone for about 24 hours.
Philippe writes this all down.
You probably managed to get some radar records telling you that the chopper went off the grid. During that period, they must have landed it somewhere and hidden it for a period. So they stole the chopper, took it away, and then when they got a call, probably, you're guessing, they must have brought it back in again.
Okay, all right. He's gonna.
I reserve the right to ask information.
He's gonna ask. Philippe's gonna ask. What? He rings up me.
Okay.
Bishop. He says,
what does he tell Bishop?
Bishop, Yes, Philippe. I'm kind of busy. Can you tell me how much distance and he says the name of the helicopter and da 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 da. How far can that go?
Right.
And where can you put it?
Right.
Well, Philippe, I'm not a helicopter pilot. I couldn't give you that bloody information. But I'm sure I can ask somebody here. Hang on, wait a minute.
Yep. You can easily get that information. It's not
Yep.
difficult to get that information. And the
He
answer
gets it and passes it on to Philippe.
right. And the answer
Okay.
is basically the biggest question is not so much how long can you fly it for, because that depends on the fuel tanks. You can add fuel tanks to these choppers, but this thing, yeah, it probably would have had spare fuel tanks attached to its pylons so that it
Yep.
could fly as far as Scotland, because that's a long way.
Yep.
So instead of having missiles on it, it had fuel tanks on it, but it did have a chain gun inside of it, a Vulcan cannon.
Yes, we experienced that.
You did experience that. So you're lucky that it had the Vulcan cannon and not the missiles, because if it had missiles and they'd used that, the whole building would have come down and you guys would be fried. But yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay, all right.
It did mean, however, that when it hit the ground and it exploded,
Yeah,
there was more fuel to the fire. So
okay, all right.
as to where you could have hidden it, anywhere big enough, really. It could have been hidden in a national park. It could have been hidden in a warehouse. It could have been hidden in a big truck or boat. Could have feasibly been hidden in a train yard. Could have been hidden. There's lots of places you could hide it. I mean, it's a big helicopter, to be fair, but it's
Yeah,
still just a helicopter. Um, you could put
okay.
out a call to see if there were any witnesses that saw a helicopter anywhere landing in any strange places.
We'll do that. We'll do that.
All right. You put out the call. I'm gonna
Yep,
say that's going to take a little bit of time to get some feedback off that. Do you have
of
anything else that
course.
you want to do that's more short term?
Okay. All right, so we worked on the apartment. What did we get in the apartment? Anything?
Right, in the apartment. Okay.
And he even touched the remains of the creature.
Well, the remains of the creature. The thing is that the creature turned to ash.
Okay, I can touch the ash of the creature. See if
All right.
you can get anything from that.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. That the forensics teams that were sent in there that gathered the evidence, they vacuumed up that ash.
Okay, cool.
And so there is an evidence bag that has, it's called strange ash or something. I don't know. They've got a name for it.
Yeah.
They, I'll have to think of a better name than that. That's terrible, but
That's
so
a
all
terrible
that-
name.
So
Yeah.
all he has to do is get it back to the thing and touch it there when it's
right. So Philippe's going to do a spirit's touch on that ash. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Philippe, let's do a spirit's touch on that ash. And I'm going to say that you make a journey down to Scotland Yard to do this business.
Yep. Yeah.
Perception and empathy difficulties depends on the impressions.
Bishop wants his people to mix with things like Scotland Yard and that, so they become a common thing that they see.
Philippe, don't ever tell me that Roll20 gives you shit dice, because you just got 7 successes.
Okay.
All right, so this thing was a vampire, most certainly a vampire. It was a fairly oldish vampire too, you suspect. And it was the images that you get from it is that it's polymorphous. It can change into different things. It seems to be able to rebuild its limbs and reshape itself. And many of the images that you get are very shadowy and dark as well. The most humanoid image that you ever get of it, it seems to have been basically tortured, abused, and otherwise brainwashed into its position as a combatant. This individual was had a very twisted mind from the impressions that you pick up off it. It had been through so much pain and horror that that's the only thing that it had ever known. And so it took pleasure in it now. That's what it did. You see that it had a broodmate. And the broodmate was very similar to it. These two were sired by dun, 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 dun.
Is it the God bigness? Big
They were sired by somebody calling themselves Ivan Levis. Ivan Levis is a blonde, you're pretty sure Zamitzi. And you get an image that is of a farm out in a forest among the trees near a road with an underground complex.
In Oslo?
I'll draw it.
Once upon a time a missile silo.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll draw it.
You know, you might figure that out. It might take a little bit of work to put those facts together, okay?
Yeah.
Is it the same? Is it the same as the one we attacked?
That's correct.
Yeah, I thought so.
What things that you learn basically from your spirit's touch, and it might not just be the ash, it might be a number of other things that you end up touching, but I'm just going to collect all of that evidence together, and because you rolled 7 successes, and it makes sense to me. What you learn is that there at least at the very least there was a pack called the Kamut, 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 and they consisted of a La Sombra named Vignus Halvor, a gangrel anti-tribute called Eric Thorson, who you guys fought, and he beat the shit out of you, if I recall.
We almost got him.
There was Ivan Levis, Sindra Lorne, and Ragnar Eric Niles. Those were the main leaders of the Sabbat unit in Oslo, and they don't even necessarily come from Oslo. This creature that this whole pack has ties to some place in Russia, on the borders of Russia, Ukraine area, and their orders have been given to you, or when I say to you, to this individual. They came down from somebody that terrified all of them. Whoever was giving the orders scared the shit out of the whole team, including the leaders, even the oldest leaders of this group. And the code name that was used is Baba Yaga.
Okay.
And that's probably the length of it. If I think of anything else, I'll add. Think of questions. You might have more questions to add, but it's 10:10.
Just remember, Philippe doesn't know about Oslo, but Bishop does. So
that's
you guys
true.
could bring your
and Philippe
shit
will no
together.
doubt draw pictures of all of the things that he sees too. And when the rest of the team see those pictures, you'll be able to collate this data pretty easily, I suspect.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. All right.
So last minute checks. Anybody else got anything they want to do before we wrap?
Probably not. I'm just gonna, I'll sit and I'll watch soccer with Alan and
All right,
the
cool.
little cat in my arms.
All right.
I get myself an animal kin point as well.
Are you? Okay.
Because I think I finally deserve it. So,
All right. So
yeah.
give yourself a point in animal kin. That's reasonable.
Yep.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for this evening. I will see you all tomorrow.
Yeah, I've got Bell's all V5'd up.
Right.
Wow, cool. Okay. B5.
So
Cool.
prepare yourself.
This stuff will be sent to the Order and Tatiana.
Okay. All right, cool.
Okay. Yep.
Excellent.
I'll have my books. I'll have my V5 book to the side of me. Let's get this.
Let's
get this done. Yep. Browse checks, all that chaos.
All right, so we're going to continue with Bells and Chase and Peter in Chicago. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember where we left at? Oh, otherwise I'll go back and check the video.
Yeah.
I'll probably
Peter,
go back and check as well.
Yeah.
Peter got down. He found the prisoners in the apartments and down to the basement.
Yeah,
I remember
with
now.
the vampire.
I remember now. Yeah.
Completely forgot.
Staked her and told the guy to drink her blood.
You staked that chick from behind.
Yeah.
And that guy started feeding on her.
God, that's awesome.
I remember. Okay, let's wrap this up. Thank you, guys. You have a good night.
Okay, bye.
It's online as soon as I can. See you.
Cool. Goodbye.